Well, well, this is it. We've made it this far. Welcome to the finals, everyone. This is the first of a best of three matches, or a best of three series of matches between prieR and West0pher to find out who is going to be our Silver Gauntlets Challenge Cup Season 5 champion. I'm Tobias. With me today on commentary are Chuckles and Lee Harrold. Folks, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. This is quite a hype match.
What up, everybody?
What up, what up, what up? Hype doesn't even begin to cover it.
And
This is the finals.
We've got quite an interesting start here with Song of Time, Adult Start, and Goron Ruby. So we have to get 6 meds today.
Yeah, it's very likely that we've got a song we don't really want and a reward we don't really want as well. So we're starting pretty light today, so interesting to see as adult where we're going to be landing. I'm hoping Kokiri Forest Kakariko. Where do you want it to be, Tobias?
Well, I would like it to be somewhere else. Because, both of us put about 50k channel points on either of those opinions. Which, chat, by the way, you have about 30 seconds left to get in on that prediction, except...
There's a start.
There's a start. We're starting in a silo in Lon Lon Ranch. Well, that's a place to start.
Well, 5 rupees.
I don't care that it's somewhere else, because that's a terrible spawn for the runners.
It really is.
Probably the worst spawn, and no warp song just to get out
spawn
as well. We're just going to be walking everywhere.
I mean, we get to hike a bit. It's good for the body. It's good for the soul.
It's good for those hamstrings. It's good for those calves.
Yeah, I can imagine both runners head into Kakariko, just go and do your standard kind of cack open. Yeah, they're both angling towards Kakariko Village here.
Indeed. They should be able to make it.
Yeah, definitely be able to get there before dark.
Well, if it's prelude on AD, well...
Well, then walking is basically your destiny for the rest of the seed.
Yeah.
So let's see what RandomBot cooked us up today.
And you really have to, when you have kind of spawns everywhere, like just in bad places, you really have to be careful about your age transitions, because walk into the Temple of Time can be a right faff if you don't pick up Prelude.
Yep.
We are definitely in the room with a British person, a right faff. Here we go. That's the most British expression I've heard yet.
It's a right faff, mate.
An annoyance. Baseball, an annoyance.
Man on Roof is nothing.
He's just giving you a bit of love.
But let's see what that hint is. Whoop. Jabu on the path to Twin Rover. And by the way, re-engage that chest-size matches content brain. We are back in Season 5 territory.
I like
so Jabu Twin Rover basically means we know that Twin Rover is the Spirit Temple is going to be a required dungeon to complete today. So.
prieR did not make that jump, sadly. So he's gonna have to go all the way around. West didn't make the jump either, but he made it afterwards, of course.
Gets a second try. Here we go. Windmill Heart Piece is just vanilla. Blue Rupee on Impas Cow, and that's Prelude. Well, that's at least some mobility.
That's
I'm actually disappointed. That makes it too easy.
Some people wanted it as AD just to spite them.
Well,
if Kak were to be foolish, then that's actually a really low chance of Kakariko being foolish, because you got not only 2 songs, but a lot of low sphere checks.
Yeah, but it could happen.
It could happen, but you have better odds of having every other location hinted foolish.
I think it's something like 1 in 1,000. or something like, because you need it to be Prelude and Serenade on the 2 songs, so we've got one of them.
Yeah.
Hey, bomb shoes in the crate.
You also have to rely on no key items on any of the other checks.
Mm-hmm. And at the moment, we've got nothing. So the potential for Baron Cack, the legendary Baron Cack, is up for grabs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so far, it's looking good. Whether, of course, we actually see chickens at this point, nobody knows.
Mm.
Those chews will be taunting our runners, though.
Yeah, they might consider... I mean, if they find a scale early, they might actually consider getting them to have some explosives, if bombs prove elusive.
Yeah, to pick up that bean, you need to have scale or the bomb bag. And if you pick up the bomb bag, well, you don't need to choose, because you've got the bomb bag.
Yep.
The other way is with a
Long shot.
boomerang. You can do a boomerang strat.
Yeah.
These runners
that's the
may
thing.
know.
But you can also get it with a long shot if you manage to get both of them very early on.
Yeah, and logically the long shot, which is... I think I've only done that a few times. Very
Let's see,
rare that
small
you pick
chest
that
from
up.
Dampe. And yet another
Well-
heart piece.
Tyrus would be rather
Just fine.
pleased.
Yeah, so T-Riss, who is a runner, he's known to be a skipper of these 2 checks here. For reasons unknown, shall we say, as the killers would say. They're a band, by the way.
I know.
Somebody told me.
Oh boy.
Well, somebody told me that this is Prelude, because we've seen it already.
Somebody told me that this song is Prelude. Sorry, just had to.
That's
No, that's the actual lyrics. Let's not sing the actual lyrics. Come on, that'd be too much fun.
Someone told me that this was a prelude, but looked like a serenade. Ooh, West0pher is going straight back, child. This is an interesting
to
thing.
see.
But we're seeing medallions. Dodongo's
Mhm.
Cavern. Spirit.
Spirit Temple,
We knew that one.
of course. Fire,
Fire.
Temple.
Sure. Shadow.
Jabu.
And Jabu. DC Spirit, Fire, Shadow,
And water.
Jabu, Water.
Whew. At least
That's
they do not have to
that's a
worry about
spread.
it. They do not have to worry about going into Stone Jabu. It's a med today.
Well, great. We have Stone Deku and we have Stone. What was the other one? Forest. That is something, all right.
Well, Stone Forest, the seed is unplayable because Forest is a bore, and I hate Stone Forest. Like, there's always something there, and you're like, I'm not going to go into Forest, it's a stone. And yeah, the long shot's always in there or something like that.
I used to get rewarded for it when I was first starting off, but when I started playing it less.
40 skulls is light arrows. Okay, 50 skulls is bombs. Bigaron crafts a Stone of Agony.
Nice.
Okay. This is a seed worthy of the finals already. And Forest Temple on the path to Bongo Bongo, we get to do Stone Forest! Yay!
Right, seed is now playable. Seed is
Yeah.
playable again.
Oh my goodness! This is already bad. This is gonna be fun. For us. Not so much for the runners. Stone Forest has found a way. At least we know it early. That is the one upside of having that information right in front of Temple of Time.
Yeah, we know we need to do it at least, so prepare yourself for Stone Forest. And we know something's in there, so it's going to be highly enjoyable for everybody.
Yep. It's certainly an item that we're going to need. It could be magic, it could be Din's Fire, it could be the hover boots, it could be a hook shot.
Depending on the key logic.
Outside
Out-
Ganon's Castle, foolish. Well,
Thanks,
at least
game.
we know we definitely don't need Strength 3 this seed. And that is Rudo's letter.
Nice. That's access.
And yes, I am certain.
Yeah. It is because of the piece of paper.
So Ruto's letter gives us access to Jabu, which we know is path. So the question is, do you do the first check in Jabu to try and hope that it's something's good on the Rang chest?
They can't access it quite yet.
Oh my god, Baby Shark, I did not know that that was clipped.
No scale or bomb bag, and we don't know where the save warp is either.
True that, true that. The prieR heading towards Lon Lon Ranch, one of the places where songs are in this game. Songs are really powerful. We want to pick them up as quickly as possible.
Yep.
West0pher knows that the back in Lon Lon Ranch will be nothing. But I don't think prieR checked it.
That's a good point, yeah.
I think both of them walked into the silo.
No, they spawned in this. Yeah, they sort of did.
Yeah, but I think both of them walked through the door there and did check that. But
I know West0pher certainly did.
We'll see if prieR did in just about a minute. Hey, high-resolution Discord restream. Thank you, Hell Knight.
It looks really, really slick. Oh, 5 rupees. Potential of Lon Lon Ranch being foolish?
I mean, all we need is Serenade on Melon.
Of course.
No, we want Serenade on Burning Cack.
Actually, we do.
We need that Baron Cack hint. Come on!
That'd be just so rude, having to hike to the lake.
Hmm.
And it is Zelda's Lullaby. Well, not foolish Lon Lon Ranch today.
Well,
Quite the opposite.
yep.
That is one of the 2 songs that could make it all dungeons for us.
Oh, yep. prieR is definitely heading to the silo.
Alright, I stand corrected.
Hmm. Now this feels a little bit bad. Like, you were right there, and now it's like, oh no. You can't just leave it. Like, you've got to check it. You can't leave a Sphere 0 check just waiting there.
Especially
So,
one that you can
understandable.
peek.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
We might get a save warp and see what it is here.
Yeah, see what
yep,
this is.
this looks like a safe warp. Let's see where child spawn is. Adult spawn was pretty bad.
Is this even worse? Can this be like Gerudo Valley, like Lake, something as bad as that?
No,
Oh, Cack.
Kakariko.
They ain't too bad.
2 chickens. I might preempt the roll call.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, we're not seeing chickens right away. We're going to the
Not
graveyard
yet.
first.
we gotta do a bit of grave robbing today.
We do have Z out, so picking up the song here is pretty snazzy from the composer's grave.
Yeah.
And it looks like West0pher is doing the same thing.
I think that's reasonable. Doing that
Yeah.
as a child, because it also allows you to get the chest there out of logic and see if that may be a useful item.
And you know you're safe because you've got Prelude, so if all comes real crap, then you can just go back to the Temple of Time and start your walk-ins again.
Oh, he's going back out into Hyrule Field.
Ah.
Little divergence here.
Well, time to delete all 7 of the chickens.
Oh, West is waiting for... He was closer to nighttime,
Oh,
so he's
waiting for
waiting for
Dampé
it to
o'clock.
turn Dampé. So he's officially foregoing doing the chickens check, which is probably, as a check, one of the longest checks in the game. That's why there's a big
Serenade.
meme about it.
Can't
Alright.
be foolish. Haha.
Well, there goes that theory.
Graveyard could still be foolish, though. Unless there's something in here which is logically magic locked.
Mhm.
Alright, so let's talk about why we're saying Kakariko can't be foolish for a bit. A location being foolish means that there are absolutely no useful
Winner heart
items or
piece.
songs. That's the winner heart piece, starting early on our 5, well, special items in the item pool.
Yeah,
So
because light arrows on 40 means that it can't be foolish at all.
exactly. So a location being foolish means that there's no useful item and no useful song in there at all. Kakariko has so many possible checks that it's very unlikely to be foolish. Plus, there are only 2 songs that are considered, well, useless in that they don't open up any new checks for the runners, and those are the Prelude of Light and Serenade of Water. So since one of those is not in Kakariko, and Kakariko has two song checks, Kakariko as a whole cannot be foolish.
Mm-hmm. And that's why there's
Despite
such a small chance for that to happen, because 2 songs out of the only 2 available is really difficult.
Yeah, and also Kakariko can't be foolish because there's light arrows in there. But, you know, details. Let's see what Dampe Digging has for us. Iron boots!
Damn!
We do need those. Worth it. Worth the wait.
Hopefully, it was well worth the wait. Sorry, just wanted to pull a Gabe Newell.
Wow. Oh, Death Star, I didn't even realize that pun, but that is gold. Gauntlets.
Now you realize that one.
Yeah, so West now doing the Composer's Grave, so picked up the iron boots, which probably most likely needed to do the Water Temple, which is the medallion. You can do it with gold scale, with some limitations, but that's out of logic.
Yeah, logically, you do need the iron boots to be able to beat Water Temple.
Yep.
Alright. I need to step away for a few minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, assuming now prieR is going to be heading to Kokiri Forest, is that what you think?
Either that or Valley.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fair point, yeah. Yeah, bit of Valley Lake play.
Well, just Valley, because... Or he did, like...
Yeah.
Both of our runners successfully getting the flame storage here.
20 schools is dead.
Excellent.
Which, knowing we need 40, is pretty worthless.
But do we need 30?
Do we need 30? That's the remaining school hint that we need to get. Jay, you're right here. prieR is going to head towards Gerudo Valley to do the 2 checks that you can get there quite easily as child. Bit of a walk, but we are kind of thin on items, really. There's not... You know, you would have expected something like, I don't know, hookshot bow, strength, bombs, early to open up the checks, but not found that real item that's going to break open the siege yet.
Yeah.
We haven't unlocked a single new check through items. That's actually incredible. Wow. So we're really getting to the... but we haven't checked Mido's house, like the place which has got the most dense location in the game. Not checked Mido's house. What if there's just a bomb bag chilling there?
Well, technically Light Trial is the most dense, but it requires more.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if we can get anything out of Valley.
Oh, that's just eye drops for dead big
Eye drops. Eye drops. Probably the... What? Worst? Second? No, maybe not the worst.
It doesn't open up anything, sadly.
No. Oh yeah, need that for the Stone of Agony that's on the...
Well, Big
Goron
Goron could suffer in agony over it then. It's not
Is
our
that-
problem.
I think we've got the hover boots here in the waterfall.
Now that opens up a few things, including logical Forest River as adults for the freestandings. Because you could still do it without them. Market to Volvagia. Rudo's mother was there.
Ruto's was there. We can do Richard the dog there. What was that on the Ruto's letter spot?
Oh, I didn't check it, sadly.
I'm pretty sure it was a piece of heart, but there's something in me that makes me think it might have been Din's. Or a purple ruby. Okay, that's it could be something that we may need later on. Okay, Skull Mask is dead.
Container.
So that's another Sphere Zero check that has nothing, so...
West0pher, go to Valley, and then go to Kokiri. You could just save quit after you get those hovers.
Okay, prieR.
Oh, we could check... Oh, no. prieR's not gonna check Richard the dog.
Yeah, I mean, in prieR's situation, you could have waited for it to be dark, do Richard, save quit, and then do Dampe. And now he's thinking about doing, like, on cue, he's just thought about doing Dampe, so...
I'm not even sure if he's gonna make the time, though.
This is gonna be... He's gone the long way round. Going across this bridge is longer than going through the river. You could just side hop over. And here's West going Valley as well.
Yep, he's gonna be picking up a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, Ventinor picking out that actually the save quit is there, like we were saying before. Could have done Richard, could have saved quit, could have done this. And he may find that he is now too late to do this, but we'll have a look. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, just gotta collect these 4 skulls first.
Good prelude to Richard, yeah.
True! Prelude is a pretty useful song today, given how
It's one of those... It's one of those things you don't really appreciate until you don't have it, and that is access to like the market area as child in the night time. Because once those gates are closed up, you ain't getting in there until it's daytime. I think probably a good time to kind of talk a little bit about the journeys of prieR and West, because of course both of them have won many matches to get through group phases and the knockout phase of this tournament to get here. Over 100 matches of Challenge Cup has been played, and these two are our kind of surviving ones. It is best of 3, Rich, so this is game 1 of 3, so even if you lose today, there's another game to try and get back into it.
Not only that, but I believe West0pher hasn't lost a single match within CC.
That's pretty good stuff going from West, and I think West was definitely one of the maybe quote favourites going into this. Maybe West one shot. A couple of those people were expected to get deep into the tournament, but prieR mainly a Link to the Past runner. I think they into the final of a Link to the Past co-op tournament recently, which is shows kind of the eclectic kind of mixture of skills that prieR's got.
Near simultaneous Richard checks. This will be interesting.
We got double Dick going on. Dick being a name that we give to Richard.
Because a lot of people know that from Dick Tracy.
Ah. Nothing from the dog. Oh, Rywek saying prieR lost to his team on Saturday in the co-op tournament. So, pretty nice that you're here supporting the person you beat in the Ocarina of Time. So, prieR's been on a massive tear recently, and was definitely the one that was. There's a little bit of people weren't really thinking prieR to be a front runner in the tournament, but defeated Zorro in top 32 first, the first match, which is a big kind of
He also took out his fellow group mates. Let's see. Flea twice.
Yeah, so prieR's definitely been on a really big journey through different tournaments and everything, and it's good to hear that prieR is a great guy.
Well, we're getting a Kokiri Forest play here now.
Yeah, 23 minutes in, and now we're checking the Kokiri Forest. I remember, I forget who I was speaking to, but in S5 they were saying this is one of the top runners. Were saying that you want to avoid Kokiri Forest as much as possible, and just on the off chance you find the Kokiri sword early in the seed, and then it lets you do the whole kind of forest area in one go. But heading into Kokiri Forest now for both runners.
Well, West0pher today. Well,
West0pher.
he's got fairly good odds here. First, 9 skulls for West0pher, so that's actually a pretty good track record.
Yeah, picking up schools. We've been to Nightcack, so helps with that early kind of school collecting. We know we need 40 for the light arrows. It's daytime, prieR. There's no schools there.
Smart play from West0pher to collect some more rupees along the way. Speaking of which,
might pick up some sticks. Running low on the stick count.
gotta grab some sticks. Though he could probably just save up on those, to be honest. I mean, our runners are still at that point where they will just try and find bomb shoes within small chests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're still opening up every single chest so far. They're actually already at 5 hearts.
Ooh!
There's a big chest in my nose! And it's a bomb bag!
Oh my god! Now you have to do the Lost Woods loop, except for like Skull Kid and Target in the Woods. Everything else is open now.
There was a bomb bag chilling in Mido's house all along.
Mido is crazy. What a crazy lad. 30 is a wallet.
There's a wallet.
We might not need that today.
I can't believe there's a bomb bag. We've been struggling through the first 25 minutes in the seed, and that bomb bag opens up, what, maybe 30 checks in the game, and opens up a medallion dungeon in DC.
I think that's one of the French's vanilla wallets, though. I thought Stone of Agony was on 30, and that's a repeat of Forest to Bongo.
I think it's 20 and 50, or is it 10 and 50? I can't remember now.
I'll have to...
Agony is 20.
I see.
We kind of joke a little bit about the Stone of Agony, because we don't need it in these settings. It's just kind of there. It's just hanging about. It's kind of pointless.
It's more helpful towards like casual players than for people who play this so often.
Yeah, locates where the grottos are, like the hidden grottos. But these runners, they know where they are.
Yep. And some of them are just fairy fountains, so they'll only ever be useful in like mixed pools. And Cross Keys does look like a lot of fun. But it's certainly one of those longer kind of seeds.
Yeah, both runners now doing the Ocarina game.
Gotta love the lens flare in this, in the Lost Woods. Just an extra bit of cash.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably useful for buying that shield.
Yeah, both
now...
runners still missing the Hylian shield.
Oh. Yeah, I was
That's
thinking about that, but I'm still like terrible with a lot of the tricks there. I was at least able to get I believe it's flipperless on like certain sections of Hyrule. But it's a really fun trick to learn. Well, there's
Hey, there's
another meme. We know where 3 of them are.
Yeah, that's Nehru's love, also known as affectionately as the condom, to protect us in our times of desperate need.
Yes.
So what kind of song do you think we're going to pick up from Sarius? We've got kind of like no indication of what it could be, so it really could be anything.
Yeah, it really can be. And we've got 4 we already have like 4 different songs. Come on, doggo.
Yeah, I don't know what would be kind of most helpful, like... Do we know what Ocarina of Time is? No, we don't. We don't know what the All Dungeons song is, so...
Yeah, it's still like a mystery to us.
Yeah, we're really hoping for...
And there's 3 hint stones here.
Yeah, we're missing 2 path hints, 2 barons, 4 sometimes hints, and the Ocarina of Time hint, so... And then you got to think that both these runners are going to be heading for their
There's Sarius song,
medallion
so it's
dungeon.
vanilla. So, Skull Kid and Dancing Dad, maybe?
Deku Path to Morpher. That's the other stone dungeon, is Way of the Hero. So, it's kind of all dungeons. It's definitely dip all dungeons today.
Yeah.
We're dipping every reward dungeon.
The only way we could definitively say that it is completely all that... Wait, was that to Baronade?
Vikiri Forest is Path to Baronade.
Yeah, that's in logic. That's fully in logic now.
Wasteland is Vanilla. The song at the Wasteland is Requiem of Spirit.
Because it was clearly for the bomb bag to access Jabu.
Oh, yeah, so... Bomb bag for access, can you believe that? Maybe. Or the bomb bag locks the boomerang?
And with Requiem being vanilla, we're gonna have to hike all the way. So that means that Lens can't be in Haunted... Well, Lens could be in Haunted Wasteland, but it can't be in Desert Colossus or Spirit Temple.
Yeah, we're going to be crossing that desert today. And picking up that Saria song, we could do the Skull Kid check now, so that's kind of convenient.
We could do all the checks in Goron City as child. And even get that skull.
This kind of goes to the question that I was saying before about, do you dip that one chest in Jabu for it to be maybe an item that leads to Twin Rover?
This is a possibility.
Alright, you punks, I'm back. Did I hear that right coming back? We're all dungeons, at least for items?
We're dipping the dungeons.
Oh, God.
At least.
prieR for Morpha and, Forest Temple for Bongo.
Alright, I mean...
Also, there was a bomb bag in Mido's house with Kokiri Forest Path to Baronade.
Yeah, that bomb bag was chilling there, just like I said.
Respect on that prediction. Like, apparently
Also,
I am in the house. Apparently we have a prophet in the house.
Also,
Prophet.
OGC is foolish. It's the only foolish location we know of so far.
Oh.
Of course, it's always the one with the, one check that requires, 3 different items, at least. Very rarely is Strength 3 something that you can get this early.
Herbal, good point. Path to Twin Rover could just be the lens because, I don't know if you saw, Tobias, but the Wasteland song is Requiem, so we are guaranteed crossing the desert today.
I did see that.
Ooh,
And yeah, that means we do need either a horse or a long shot, as well as lens and magic to be able to logically cross the wasteland.
Mm-hmm. Very likely that the path to Morpher in Deku Tree is one of the 2 hook shots we need to complete it because we've already got the iron boots. The other thing that could be... Well, there's actually a lot of stuff you need for key logic in water, so let's hold off on that prediction, but it's quite often one of the 2 hook shots.
Well, I mean, Bolero can already be accessed, as well as Minuet. Given that we have both Hover Boots and Saria's Song.
Yeah, we're proper booty at the moment. We've got... Well, West has got both of the boots, the other one's on the Dampe digging check.
Which,
Hover boots on the iron boots from Dampe, right, and hover boots in the waterfall. So,
Yep.
those were both sphere literally 0. Sphere 1 if you count an age change.
Yep.
Bigoron crafts the Stone of Agony. There's a reminder that you need not bother with those eye drops from the valley.
Yep.
And it's not even the frog to do a little froggy warp to ice, which is not in logic, but you can time out with the frog and get
I mean, you can
transported
time out.
to the ice cavern.
You can time out with the eye drops too, right?
No,
Somehow?
because the timer is not active.
Oh.
And when you save quit, it goes back to being the prescription.
Yep. So you'd have to go back into like the domain area anyways. So no frog warps.
Yeah, Tofar's talking about the skull. It is the light arrow, so it's the last thing we're going to need. And we need to go into every dungeon. So, I know West skipped the skull, but overall, in my kind of runner judgment, I would not be worried about the skulls. Like, I think you're going to... Ooh, big chest. You're going to get there eventually.
Yep. And it's... the scale!
So, bomb locks a scale, so that's interesting to keep track of the Baronade logic.
Bomb or hammer.
Yeah.
And yeah, we saw it yesterday, we see it today. Do not skip DMT wall. Just don't.
Just give it a bit of a peek if chest size matches content.
And the scale, like as prieR is currently demonstrating, gives us excellent mobility into the river. So probably going up and down, maybe into domain, maybe dipping that Jabu.
I'm thinking we're probably seeing river checks first.
Yep.
A load of hints. Deep in the
Wasteland is a
wasteland.
magic meter?
Magic. That's a magic.
Wait, what? That could be logically first magic. That
No,
is
it's
amazing.
not! No, it's
That's
not.
magic locked.
That is magic locked.
You need magic to use
Oh, no,
the
wait,
Dix
yeah.
or Fire Arrow to get that.
I was like, wait, you don't need magic to get this far into the wasteland. No, but you do need it to open to turn on the torches. To light the torches. Goodness. Okay.
If the lens were there instead, then yeah, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
What?
So any good season 5 seed, magic locked magic applies.
Magic locks magic.
That's not even in shadow today.
Oh, to your sons.
Oh, to your sons.
Whew, that's only like one check. Except maybe frogs too.
I'm not gonna curse another seed by saying what I've already said.
Yeah, you're a genius at that.
Look, no. I said that twice over on ZSR in chat both times. One was I think one was an actual race one-on-one, and one was the EU Weekly. Both of them ended up having required Sun songs. So, I mean, in the end, it's of course all, you know, in good fun, and it's all already generated, right? This is pre-generated by a random number generator, but it is fun to speculate.
In
Except
the
for
end,
the
it doesn't
prophecy
even matter.
maker.
But did you have to fall to lose it all? Oh, it looks
Hold
like
on.
West0pher is setting up for
Man, Lee, I'm becoming numb to your music jokes.
Linkin Park.
You've become so
got
numb that you can't feel my jokes.
One of the things that we kind of haven't really addressed yet is West. I'm guessing warped back to the market. So interesting kind of decision making there. I wonder what kind of directed West to go back to market.
Might pick up a few bomb chews in the lab while we're in the lake at some point.
Yeah, Ginger whipped up the rando bot today.
Blame Ginger.
No, we're not blaming anyone.
We always blame Ginger.
You can blame
Ginger
rando bot. That's cool.
We blame Randobot.
Ooh, nice trail of bomb chews from West. That's most impressive thing of the seed so far. Like a cyan, turquoisey kind of.
Oh
Bomb
my
blocks
God.
hammer.
Go for the fucking hammer, of course.
There's the hammer that's bomb locked again. I think you're going to be right on thinking that this path to Baronade is just going to be access, because the bombs has locked hammer to get the scale, which could have been used to get the scale. Like, oh.
So this is 100% hard bomb locked scale. Yeah, that is definitely bombs on the path to Baronade. Then.
Yeah, 100%
That's a
the
bit
hammer for that. So it wasn't the Router's letter in the end. It is the Hummer. Well, it could be Router's letter, but the
It could
hammer
still
is.
be both.
Yeah, the hammer is. Whoa! Look at that layout for those rupees. That's the second most interesting thing that's happened this seed.
Well, letter
yeah,
isn't a luxury. We definitely do need to get into Jabu Jabu at some point.
Speaking of which,
Whoa! Look at this. This is going to be like a two dive here. Go on! Go on! Get it!
Nice! It's a two diver.
Get it! Nice.
the only thing
Those are so
West0pher is missing logically is both strength and Goron tunic for Fire Temple completion, but he could just like grab a fairy, I think.
I mean, 5 hearts should be enough with a fairy to be able to comfortably beat Volvagia.
And climb up.
Going ice could be interesting. We definitely need to do Dodongo's cabin first. That's a
Well, not while we're still child.
yeah. When we ooh,
Oh, hey!
sword
K-sword.
and domain.
This
Okay,
is a season 5 setting, so that is actually relevant. We need to get into Deku. It's a path location.
Yep.
So that is a very required sword.
yeah.
I'm
And
guessing there's
Deku's
a hook
path
shot at this
morpher.
point for in the tree.
Mm-hmm. So now you're kind of doing this Jabu opening first check, do it because it's a medallion, and then hop him back over to the Deku tree.
You gotta think like Cariosa. Rush the dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
Rush Donjon. But why was that Sora holding a small dagger?
Next to
Don't
the
know.
room that has the king in it, you know.
Oh
20
my
skull
goodness!
hit.
Assassination plot.
Except the small child showed up and he just gave that dagger to the kid?
The Ruto's like, lol. Here's that. Did you see what West just did? He was climbing down the river and then just like
He
climbed
was trying to
up
go
the
for
ledge.
the stick, but he missed.
That was a 20 skull hint, and 20 is indeed dead. It's a sometimes hint. And it was a repeat to boot.
Ooh, prieR with a save quit.
Ooh.
So, abandoning the Jabu play
Yep.
and heading now to CAC, which is the save quit spawn.
He might be able to get
Okay.
his iron boots after all.
Yeah, getting the Dampe.
Do the dump
And then probably off to Kokiri and enter Deku Tree.
Another tiny chest.
prieR definitely thinks it's been night for too long at this point.
Oh yeah.
Or just forgot about it? I don't know. I don't know how
I
long
don't
it's
think
been
so.
nighttime for. If it's late at night. Yeah, Mel. Deku, DC, and then ice. And then at that point, it's just going to ice.
Back to the forest we go, I guess.
Yeah.
To get
this is-
to
Yeah, you have a Kokiri sword. You want to get whatever's in Deku Tree at this point.
Yep.
The basic rule still applies. If you have a dungeon available to you that is progression or contains a guaranteed progression item, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
No, Purple, you can definitely be as somebody who is a not a fan favorite of ice. I'm definitely happy for people saying, "Let's not go to ice."
Look, rushing ice can be an objectively good play when the pool of songs is small enough that there's a high probability that there's a useful song there. But in general, when it's out of logic,
Rush ice.
I mean, we like to meme about it, yes, and it's fun to do. And I mean, the trick, the King Zora skip that makes it all possible is definitely worth watching and super interesting. But just
Well, we do have
objectively-
Ruto's letter, so we wouldn't need to hop over him today. We can just, his butt is frozen. We can walk straight past him.
Yeah, I know ice is in logic.
Oh, were you just talking about it generally?
Yeah, Deep in the Wasteland is a magic meter. Thanks, game, we already knew that. You already told us Magic 2 is magic locked.
The thing in forest could also just be the first magic meter.
Could be. There's a bunch of things it could be.
Of course.
Yeah,
Not
it could be,
hovers.
that could be a load of stuff.
30 wallet. Well, no new information for you, prieR.
In terms of hints, we've got 1 sometimes hint and 2 Baron hints. Not getting those Baron hints really early. You want those Baron hints as quickly as possible.
Yeah. You want to know where it's not worth checking.
Mm-hmm. As soon as
But
you
this
start
is-
dipping areas, the Barons become less effective.
But folks, this is truly a seed worthy of finals. Look, we have light arrows on 40 skulls. We have all dungeons dips required, at least for items. So
Yeah,
I
we're
mean-
hopefully going to get something interesting on prieR's side sometime shortly.
yeah, definitely. Alright, it looks like West might actually be going for that Jabu dip after all.
Yep.
Mhm. Has the fish at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Definitely at least opening the fish's mouth. To
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it all free again.
It is path to Twin Rover, so it very likely could be something dumb like a mirror shield. It could
could
be
be
something
magic.
cool like a strength or a magic. Well, yeah, something like that. So, what bait could be in the Deku tree? We know there's a wallet on 30, but we don't have a tunic or the third wallet, so it could be tunic logic. Could
Something,
be-
something, spirit key logic. Oh, big chest. We're about to find out, I reckon.
Here we go.
Big chest. Hook shot.
Hook shot.
Knew it.
Yeah. Well, we kind of were expecting it to be one of the 2 hook shots.
Kind of. So if you
Benji,
prieR,
that's boring.
do you continue in Deku Tree at this point? I mean, he does.
I mean, it's a pretty short dungeon regardless.
Yeah. Imagine if the second hook shot was here and you left. Like, if you leave, you're never coming back. So, just do it. Bear the kind of 2 minutes. You don't even need to be one skip. You got the bombs, and we'll kind of show this ground jump that prieR's about to do to kind of just miss out the back section of this dungeon.
Plus, 2 free skulls in the basement.
Also true. That's another big chest in the basement? No.
Nope. It's tiny.
Nice. Oh.
The teeny tiny chest.
West,
Timing on that bump throw.
yeah, that could be tricky.
13
get that time right.
skulls.
You know, I learnt something on Saturday, and you know Ginger Sunny. You know Ginger is a sleeper at Ocarina of Time Randomizer.
What do you mean?
He's been playing for years. He's actually really good.
He's the resident sleeper.
Yeah, he is the resident sleeper of the Ocarina of Time community. Aren't you, Ginger? He's been sleeping for a long time.
He's been in a coma.
Did not know that, actually.
I know, yeah. I learned that out on Saturday. In before Ginger S69 champion.
S69, that's going to be a long time from now. Most of us will probably be dead when Season 69 hits the scene. Ouch!
Gomer not being nice.
Oh. Indeed, and prieR missing the 1 cycle here.
Yeah, Mel, you're getting to the final. It's alright.
Mel will completely destroy the competition.
Okay, here's West doing the singular Jabu check that we know is path to Twin Rover, so I wonder if this is going to be something fun. Whilst prieR is just wiping out a giant arachnid in Queen Grammar.
Yep.
Spiders are now extinct.
Spider scorpion things. Because it's a giant arachnid. Ooh!
Big chest! It's a big chest in Jabu.
Oh!
Strength.
Oh
Here's
my god!
shield.
Okay.
That doesn't unlock anything, sadly.
Well, it could mean that that boomerang is sitting pretty and being guarded by Twin Rover.
Yeah, it's not the functional item that West would have hoped for, like one of the strengths that you need to get into Spirit Temple. But you need it. You're going to need to win.
This is definitely a big advantage for West0pher, though, because when is prieR going to Jabu? Not anytime soon, now that he has a hookshot, I think.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised prieR didn't go into Jabu. Like, you made the trip there, you may as well check out Path Jabu. But prieR's done...
Is going to be clearing out the tree. And where's prieR going now? It might be one of life's greatest mysteries.
Could be... Oh, going to do Bomb Tube Bowling, picking up the money for all that?
Gonna grab that hammer. It's hammer time. I don't know, just the concept of a giant mallet having more strength than explosives is kind of off-putting. It's like, why even have these explosive bombs when you could just carry around a hammer?
That's true. And Purple in chat saying neither of them want to grow up. I mean, growing up sucks. Why grow up?
Exactly.
I refuse to grow up. I'm an O_O face on the internet.
Puberty sucks. Everyone knows that puberty sucks because of all the things you go through.
Oh gosh, let's not get into it.
I think it's best that we don't anyways. The only great thing about puberty is having a deep voice. And sometimes, like, facial hair. Because who doesn't like having a mustache?
I think being able to, like, buy my own chocolate is the best thing about being an adult.
Oh, yes!
Chocolate mustache! Yes, we should have one of those. It's like a milk mustache, but made of chocolate.
That's what you get if you're drinking cocoa.
Or
Alright.
chocolate milk.
Yeah, prieR about to pick up the Hummer, and then assume and go an adult.
Yep. Ooh.
That's gonna work? No.
That was a little too far to the right.
Doing some swag chew strats.
And he got
nailing
it.
them as well.
I like how Kranados is the 5-head here for that emote. Makes perfect sense because, you know, it's based on a dinosaur that uses... Well, they originally thought they were, like, goats. Like, goat-like dinosaurs where they just ram each other's heads, but their skulls are not built that way. Because it's not a real good shock absorber.
Right.
What are you on about, late?
Like goats. Goats
Filling-
have, like... They have plenty of holes in their skulls to, like, absorb, shock when they're headbutting. Similar to deer. I mean, who doesn't like animals running?
Lee Harrold, also known as the Encyclopedia Canadia.
Yes.
Benji asking the real questions. Why don't woodpeckers get headaches?
Probably there's just the way their skulls are built. I mean...
prieR is now adult.
Hey, prieR decided to
Assuming-
grow up. Let's see. Probably heading to Fire Temple?
I think we say all that happens if they got an earring. That's all that happened.
He's got not just an earring, but he's got, like, underclothes. Like an undershirt, some long johns, and he's also got a pair of gauntlets. Not the silver ones or the gold ones quite yet, but he's definitely more covered. And yet, Nintendo refuses to explain why.
By the way, Just Bleedin dropping the actual knowledge in chat. And not even kidding, by the way. Woodpecker tongues are ridiculously long. And yes, their tongues kind of cushion their brain when they're, you know, doing the woodpecking thing.
Yes. Birds' tongues are basically like they have teeth on them, anyways. Because,
You know, I never got a headache when I played rugby.
Ginger Sunny,
because
get your mind out of the gutter. Oh god, what have I gotten myself into? Why did I volunteer to commentate today? Alright. Back to the video game, you know?
Yeah, prieR actually went
like
to Lake.
earlier today.
picked up Pierre. Maybe that was kind of the big focus point of that, to head into the Fire Temple in a bit.
Fire Temple!
The thing is, we do now have hammer, hookshot, could quite easily get bow locks, and logically strength locks, but you could do a little jumpy jump to get rid of the strength block.
Well, another check they can do, because they both have hovers, would be Floor Master. It'd also be like, just in case there's only one key in the courtyard. Which would also include Stalfos and the entrance.
Well, prieR, if you had picked up your iron boots earlier, you could be getting a free 10-pack of juice right now.
Well, he's got like a full bomb bag anyways.
And yeah, as Dastar points out, we're always looking for more volunteers as this tournament kind of winds down. League is getting back into it, and more tournaments are on the horizon, so there's plenty of OOTR left to broadcast, and if you want to help us make these restreams happen, do check out our Discord. And help us out by tracking, by commentating, by race monitoring, all those cool things.
As we approach the 1 hour mark, we may as well
that's true.
honor the glorious people.
All those glorious volunteers who make this restream happen. Thank you so much, first of all, to our runners who are putting on a heck of a show for us. West0pher and prieR, if you aren't following them yet, please consider it. Thank you also to our trackers, Baseball, Mr. VGD, and Melqui, for keeping us up to date on what the hell is going on with this seed.
And our race monitor, Ginger Sonny, who rolled this seed.
Indeed. Well, the seed was rolled by Randobot. All that Ginger Sonny did was press a button or type !seed as 5. The race monitors are important, though. They keep track of what the runners are doing and keep an eye on the runners' chat to make sure that they aren't getting any inadvertent hints. And finally, thanks to our restreamer Hell Knight, who, well, as always, makes sure this stream actually reaches your eyeballs. And finally, thanks to my wonderful co-commentators Lee and Chuckles.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah, that's you.
That is me.
West also went to, like, so I think they're both thinking about picking up the prieR, which is definitely a smart play to do. Because they don't have the long shot, they can't do the shooty pixel shot, that's the trick, that's what it's called. Because they don't have a long shot, so they need the prieR to get right up to the top.
Alright.
Ooh, Lost Woods is barren?
That would have been nice to know about an hour ago.
Yeah! We've only done every check in the Lost Woods.
Yeah. The only thing that's locked is Slingshot locked. West0pher is probably going to just be picking up those, maybe those bomb shoes after.
Yeah, and I don't think you're ever picking up that Lost Woods hint before you do the Lost Woods, because the bomb bag's in, and the only kind of way to blow up boulders is in Mido's house, and you're doing Lost Woods after that, so I think that's one of those things that, unfortunately, Lost Woods was always going to be completed.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they haven't done Target in the Woods. Good point.
It's also a free skull down here, too. Oh. That is 17 for West0pher.
And there's, indeed, 10 free bomb shoes for West0pher. Makes sense to pick them up when you're already in the area and have your iron boots.
Mm-hmm. So, we haven't done DC, right?
Nope.
Nah.
No. Okay. So the prieRs decided to go to Forest before DC. If they pick up Bolero here, then that's a wicked play. Because that gives you kind of easy access to the volcano area.
Yeah. In terms of dungeon priority, I would probably assume prieR is going by any dungeon that is not the.
Well,
There's Bolero.
Ask and you shall receive.
Indeed. I still say apparently I am in the same room as Prophet right now.
What else do I know? Yeah, this is Path, but we don't have a bow. We don't have a strength, so we're limited in the amount of checks that we can do.
Those were angry shield flicks.
Yeah, with the Lost Woods discovery.
Well, that is just not something you want to see that late in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Lost Woods Baron. I was thinking about this the other day, that if you pick up Lost Woods Baron, yeah, you're skipping like a lot of checks, but it's not. I don't know. I was thinking about the quality of kind of foolish hints, and I don't think it's that great of a foolish hint.
It's right there in the middle of the pack, I would say. It's Lost Woods is a bunch of checks, but most of them are pretty close together and pretty easy to get to.
And all one age as well. You want the ones that are kind of dual age, like Lake Hylia and Goron City are probably two of the better foolish hints, because you need to do checks as child and adult. They're a bit sticky to get to sometimes. You're kind of always walking through Lost Woods.
Yeah, certainly.
And West is going via Kakariko. So, could be doing DC first.
We got our first key.
Yeah, one key. So, I know we talk about like, oh, Forest Temple, it's so boring, but I think the first part of Forest Temple is really interesting with the route that you can take with lots of all the different combinations, and there's a whole spreadsheet. I don't know if people know this. There's a spreadsheet made by somebody, I can't remember who it was, that tracks all the different combinations of routes you can take in the first part of Forest Temple and calculates which one is the quickest route based on like the items that you have.
Yep. Well, all I can really say is that most people just don't like having to fight 4 pose to get to the basement.
Yeah, the second part of the temple is a bit drab because you're just doing the same thing over and over again, but the decisions that you can make in the first part are really interesting. Like, if you've got the hover boots, you can do this nice little hover that prieR just did to get over to this area.
If you don't, you can still get over there with a sword recoil.
It's not hovers locked for Forest.
Though the sword recoil is a trick and it's not in logic.
Yes, Mel, no magic spinny.
Yeah, so far no evidence of where that magic is.
But we'll be getting a DC play, so there's something.
Nice, more divergence.
Thanks, Sly. I
Alright.
normally do a good job of misattributing things to people, so thanks for confirming.
That's the second copy of the Lost Woods hint. Well, I mean, Dodongo's Cavern has been in Logic 5 ever, so...
Also hard. Oh, big chest in Forest, but that's also like kind of hard bomb blocks at the moment.
It's fired! That's our path to Bongo Bongo.
Path to Bongo. Yeah. Yeah, not the most exciting path to Bongo that we could have got.
Do we dip out of here now? This is basically the spot. Like you check the well here, and then probably dip out of here, right? Or at least you make a decision to either dip or keep going.
Well, he doesn't have strength or bow. And he's gonna grab the skull on the island.
Oh, right. It is. Pardon me. It is 1 hour and 8 minutes into the seed, and we don't have strength or bow yet. That is. I just assumed. But you know, this is a final seed, so of course those would be missing.
There's another small key. I think that's really about it, so... That's a save quit.
Yeah. Oh, save quit.
Even though he could have just played Bolero, I think.
Yeah, like, as the prophet of the commentary booth said. I don't know why I'm calling myself a prophet. That is so big-headed of me. Like...
I get to call you a prophet, though.
Yeah, thank you. You can enlarge my ego any day, Tobias.
That sounds like a euphemism.
Yeah, hashtag ZSR lewd.
Yikes! I wasn't gonna make the joke, but you know what? Okay. That was, by the way, Nocturne of Shadows, so... more mobility easily gets us into Kakariko.
Yeah.
You do chickens?
Chickens. Who does chickens?
Good question,
Ari
Magic.
does.
prieR do Shadow. We still need a magic. We know where one of the magics is, and unfortunately, it's hard magic block to pick that. So we are still skirmishing through the sea to find the second of the magic that would be around here.
Thing is, though, our paths have all been fulfilled. All the path hints have an item that fits their description. So where we go now is basically anybody's guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point you go by, well, if you have a progression dungeon available, you go to it.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, you just go by check density, otherwise.
Yeah, we've got DC we can do, which is a nice kind of dungeon to find stuff in, even though we haven't found anything yet. And we also have fire that we can do with the hammer. Could get locked out depending on things like
Toilet has strength!
Oh, someone called Death Star.
Oh! Oh.
That Star's been here the whole time.
Oh. All of his dreams are coming true.
Oh, that's
But it's not Dins in Toilet, it's Strength in Toilet.
It's something in toilet, that's enough.
That's well, once West0pher finds a way to actually get there, it's fully in logic for him.
And that is 4 out of 5 meme percent. Here's the nice arrow. Ice arrows. Up there with a trail fairy.
What are you talking meme percent? The ice arrows are a functional item in this game, Tobias. No, they're not.
If only they were like in Majora's
really,
Mask,
really not.
the game that came after it.
Yeah, it's a good point, Lee, thinking about GTG. We'd love to pick up that strength. If we could get to GTG.
Yeah.
We need a horse.
Would be really nice to be able to get to GTG, though, wouldn't it?
Of course.
We need a horse.
Rush
Horse
ice.
is likely an ice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could be an
I
ice.
mean, we have 2 locations left. Well, 3 locations that we don't know about yet.
2 ways we can get over to...
And
There's
2
the
of
other
them are
wallet.
locked behind Lens of Truth anyways. Lens of Truth and Magic. Because we still have to do crossing, and
There's a strength! There's a strength in DC!
Strength
Okay.
to a
All
toilet!
right.
Let's go!
Strength in DC. Okay. What makes that strength 2 in toilet handy is that you can then just do the strength
rest
2
of
like checks.
Gerudo training grounds,
GTG, yeah. Then we don't have a bow. Still waiting on a bow.
That's 19 skulls on West0pher's too now.
Big skull collection.
Well, they do know they need 40 of them in the end. No, in no particular rush to pick them up, but certainly picking up any that they come across on their way.
Skull collecting sounds extremely morbid.
Yeah.
I mean, has that ever stopped anyone?
Well, I mean, people collect animal skulls.
Yeah. Alright. prieR is heading back out to the trail, so presumably back on the way to Dodongo's Cavern now himself. Meanwhile, West0pher checking those checks that prieR already did. prieR might be... well, is on the way into the Dodongo's Cavern after all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Neil just talking about Epona song. Spirit locks the green medallion, which locks two songs. So either the long shot's available, or Epona is in ice.
Yep.
See, at that point, going to Ice Cavern becomes a really good play, because you have pretty much even odds that that song in the Ice Cavern is indeed Epona's song.
Mm-hmm. And then just imagine like the long shot's just chilling in ice anyway. It's like, you've got both options now.
That would be, I mean, par for the course as far as this seed goes, but
So is this West? I wonder if West is going to go into fire or just pick up the Bolero song. I think it makes sense. You're there. The problem for West is that you jump down the little, like, I don't know, what do you want to call it, like, hole to go into the fire temple, and he doesn't have a nice way out like prieR does because he doesn't have Bolero. So we'll see if West goes in. Nocturne's a nice way out, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
No, leaving it. Leaving it. Interesting.
so is West now headed to ice?
Or forest, because West still
Or
needs
just
to do
farming
forest.
He's
And
also,
buying a tunic.
Could be.
yeah.
Or just
I know
reset the
that there's a-
timer.
There's a 5 on this side, which he's going to be picking up.
Okay, he's farming rupees.
Farming for the tunic, yeah.
Like the skull on the wallet on 30 is only going to be really useful for
Yeah, West with 2 bottles, 6 hearts. I don't know, they've got pretty high execution standards, so I'd expect them to be confident and do as much as they can in ice, but you don't need to worry about doing Volvagia then and things like that, so it's definitely a safe play.
Yeah.
the only thing they're really missing at this point would be like a bow, just in case they're like bow locked out.
Yeah.
Other than that, they could just do the entire dungeon bowless. And with bombs, it would be much easier. But it looks like West0pher is just going to be going straight into...
Yeah, West doesn't even go in fire.
Now, forest or ice?
Mido skipping.
Yep.
Yeah, playing the song.
Forest we go.
Yeah.
And he can go a little bit further. I think up to like the depending on where the other keys are, you might be able to head up all the way to the bow room.
Once you pick up the Din's Fire, you're never doing a vanilla bow chest without the bow, though. That's painful.
You have to do in the game.
You have to do it in the game, yeah. But there is a bow in the bow chest, though, so that makes it helpful. West realising they've got Scarecrows on.
Nah, not quite as many skips, Vidya. But you know.
At this point, he might as well just have a skip sandwich from Earthbound. Which does actually help you skip through a lot of the game.
Do they have skips in other countries? Skips are cool. As in the crisps, or chips as you might want to call it, Lee.
Like potato chips.
Yeah.
I've never heard them called like that. I've heard of crisps.
Skips are a variety of chip.
So like there are different brands, sort of like Pringles or Lay's.
Yeah, but in particular, skips are kind of melty and they're prawn cocktail flavoured.
I see. Barbecue is still my personal favorite.
Thanks, Din.
Mido skips. Mido can really just market it and exploit the hell out of the free market with that. Just imagine him selling potato chips, and then his marketing slogan would be like, "Straight from the forest" or something, or "Forest to fork."
Mido flavoured skips. We've got prieR heading into fire.
Oh my god, that sounds awful. Why would you eat Mido? He's only a kid.
Yeah, talking about like wanting to be a kid forever. Mido is a kid forever. I don't know. That feels like worse than growing up. Mido can't buy chocolate.
No, he could just take the chocolate. I'm not even sure if there's chocolate in the Kokiri forest.
So,
There's got to be a
side
cocoa
note,
plant somewhere.
why would I want chips that literally melt in your mouth? Like,
It's like candy floss, isn't it? Candy floss just is kind of, you put it in your mouth and then it's like, oh, did I have the candy floss? It's kind of just disappeared now.
I want chips that make the following noise.
Oh, you can bite into a skip and they go crunch. Like, they do have a crunchy quality to them. But they also could be like poppy and melty in your mouthy.
I like cotton candy. It has a lot of flavor, even if it gets like sticky on your fingers.
Oh yeah, cotton candy. Yeah, candy floss.
But we're getting a
Why are
fire
we so
symbol
backwards
here.
in our language? Like, can't we just have the same language?
Well, think of it for other languages too, like Chinese. You have traditional and simplified.
And that's the same with English?
Maybe.
Yeah. In American is simplified and
What would Canadian be?
English is traditional.
What would Canadian be? Because they're kind of like a mix in the middle. Like we put some of our words like color and armor have like a U in it, and there is no U in the American spelling.
Let's return back to the game because prieR has just picked up the boss key, which is really important. So
That was actually
early
vanilla,
boss
wasn't it?
key. Yeah, vanilla spot. So it took me a while to clock that because I was just like, oh yeah, it's not CSMC, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, early boss key. So we're not climbing the fire temple. We're just going to go and complete it.
The question becomes, though, do we climb it later on?
Yep. That's...
Deep fire will always be looming until we reach that Gomo.
And it looks like prieR is, I'm guessing, leaving to go back in to pick up a fairy. Because prieR doesn't have the tunic to slow down the time limit in the TobiasG fight.
It gives him about a minute and a half. He's got 2 bottles. Down the hatch is some delicious grass juice.
And you don't even have magic to up your magic meter. Very sad.
Exactly. Who dumps into the ocean?
Someone who is very thirsty for salty tea?
So Americans like salty tea. I see.
How do you not think of tea grenadier there, Milkweed?
Yes! That pun, Alex. It's salt tea.
Oh.
Well, I mean, those clickbait videos on YouTube prove that Americans love salt. The clickbait.
Before we produce an international incident, can we maybe switch the topic here?
Okay.
Anyway, fire
the snake.
You mean the pool noodle?
Spicy noodle.
I do like TobiasG.
Volvagia should be like a pool floaty, if I'm to be perfectly honest. Because, like, Link having a pool floaty in a lava pool would be pretty neat. BAM! Giving her a split headache.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, TobiasG should have wrapped their tongue around their head to avoid dying there.
Oh, nice callback.
Like a...
Well, maybe if she had more holes in her skull, maybe.
Yeah, prieR didn't need... Well, actually, it's got 7 seconds left and might, like, die trying to get the blue warp, but that was a pretty slick fight.
That was a super fast fight.
Another key!
Nice.
Two fairies needed exactly none.
Well done, prieR.
That hand is getting away! It's making me think of the second stage of Armagoma from Twilight Princess. The ultimate fake-out. Do you remember that
prieR
game?
is going back in.
It's going deep.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, we'll get to see if it's fire-locked, if it were key-locked in a minute.
I mean, it's 3 keys that we have already, so...
Yeah,
Yeah, like, we've only got small keys and boss keys at the moment, so there's still 6 items left in here.
Yeah. There's a potential that there might have been another key back here. And if it wasn't, then it was definitely hovers locked.
This one could be a really difficult to peek, because the Goron's in the way.
So far...
So where does that get us to? That gets us to the walkway bit where the bow switch is. prieR's thinking about skulls.
Of course. They're like
I can dig
halfway
it.
through. Also, is it just me, or is it really fun just seeing, like, the keys getting absolutely destroyed by the hammer when they're targeting you in the entrance? It's almost...
It is so satisfying.
Yeah, when you hit one, it's so cool.
It's almost as gratifying as, say, playing Epona's song in Lake Hylia and just directing the Epona right towards a Tektite. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, this is a. I don't know whether this is. I'm guessing it's a bug, but that happens quite often in that room where you get your Z targeting onto the the token, and you get hit by one of the tiles on the floor, and then suddenly, like, for some reason, you can't use the hook shot. You have to like untarget it and target it again.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he just wanted to appreciate the skull. I mean, it's not like Shadow Temple in Master Quest where you have 4 re-deads doing that.
Did you just seriously make that pun?
Oh, I'm freeing the Goron.
Free the Gorons!
Nice. Free the Goron %. So, what? That's now 5 checks in fire, and we've seen
Free the
5
fairies as well.
keys.
Yeah, who needs items anyway?
So there's like 6 items and 3 keys left in this dungeon.
We have already found 5 out of 8 keys. That's
unreal. And it's actually well, it's logical without the hammer to go upstairs as well. So you needed the bomb bag, but you didn't need the hammer.
We're freeing the Gorons and the fairies today. Link is a liberator. He is the man who will save Hyrule from certain doom. From an old man who loves to play tennis.
So prieR can just ground jump this. I talked about a jumpy jump before, but if you've got bombs, you can do this glitch, which allows you to get vertical height using a bomb by shielding damage off of it. Pretty neat. It's definitely one of those staple tricks for anybody wanting to get into Ocarina of Time speedruns. It saves a lot of time and a lot of different item requirements. And it's not difficult to do, it just requires a bit of flow. You need to kind of understand the flow of the button inputs.
Yeah, basically it is it's one of those techniques that you practice once and then, oh, there's a big chest.
Big stabby.
Oh, I thought it was going to be
Automatic
fun.
30-minute time save.
It's also not bow locked, considering that we have 2 keys going up.
Yeah, fire not bow locked.
It's not. I'm not even sure if it's hovers locked either. Another key. That's number 6.
Yeah, it's not hovers locked.
Well, we still need 1 more key to determine that. Logically.
Another small key.
Yeah, that's number 6.
Jeez.
Man, Fire Temple is pretty open today.
Did we see a peek into the top floor chest? I don't think we did
We
after
did not.
Yeah, I
after
don't
the
think.
BGS check.
I'm not even sure if prieR actually does a lot of these sort of peaks. I know West0pher does more of them.
So Radabay asking in chat, why dip Jabu without the boomerang? Well, Jabu was hinted a path to Twin Rover, and guess what was in the boomerang check? But the mirror shield.
It's not a crazy casino this seed. That's what we know for sure.
And that's our final key.
That's bow locked in there. Oh no, it's not. Ignore me.
That was another key.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, now we know that fire isn't hovers locked. Well, actually, it has. Ooh. No, we'd still need to find another key. Because the one we found was on Volvagia. That can either be the spare key or it could be key number 7.
That's
Oh,
true.
never mind.
That's another
Wow.
key!
Well, we confirmed it. Not hover's locked.
So deep fire has all of the items,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
prieR is not getting the basement check. So it's probably either well, the small keys left. It's probably a small chest.
We're going deep into fire, boys. And
Yeah,
girls.
West is
else?
climbing as well.
Yeah, it's a smart idea. Like, you want to go deep fire as early as possible. Doing that very convenient trick here.
Yeah, the nice little flick of the bomb back down whilst you're climbing. Really kind of... I was going to say sexy, but that's not really the most appropriate adjective for that. It's very
Neat.
slick. Yeah, that's a better word. Thank you, Tobias.
It's neato.
And they say English is your second language.
It is.
And I can.
I'm even worse at German.
Sexy random.
That almost sounds
Yeah.
like a dating simulator, but it's like you randomize everything, which is weird.
Why am I now thinking about... Do you all know Hatterful Boyfriend?
No.
The pigeon dating simulator.
What?
I am not even kidding.
I think you need to explain it in as much
It is
detail as
exactly what it says.
Oh yes. Dating.
I heard
pigeon.
pigeons as well. Like,
Yeah, like the actual
Hatterful
bird.
Boyfriend is a Japanese visual novel released in 2011 for Microsoft Windows and OS X in which all the characters other than the protagonist are sapient birds.
there's a bow in deep fire.
Hey!
Oh
There is a
my
bow
god!
in deep fire. Oh,
And we are not bow locked and we are not hovers locked in here. This is our logical bow.
Back in the forest temple.
what? How is there a bow here? That's logically available. That's Randobot's
Rando
giving
is
us a
randoing
gift
hard
today.
today.
Yeah.
I just thought of something. Now, when West0pher gets his bow, he could easily go back. He could go into Water Temple and get his spirit medallion. No, he still needs long shot. I just forgot. But
Still
he
need the
could
long
dip it.
shot.
He could dip Water Temple.
And here was me before we got into dating pigeons or whatever, and I was thinking, why deep fire over ice? Like, what would be the decision train with that? And you know, I would have gone ice, but the deep fire play is turning golden at the moment.
Both of them are doing it.
Yep. But where do they go from here after? That's the question we need to know.
But we need to get over to the GTG for strength 2, don't we? That's why I would have been to ice, because it's like, right, I know something's in GTG. It's highly, highly likely that opponent is in ice. There's a ton of stuff that I can do in ice as well. I've got the iron boots, I can do the lake. I would have gone ice, hoping to pick up Epona Song. Both of these runners are doing deep fire, and they're going to get rewarded with a bow.
So West0pher will have to take a bit of a longer route again. That torch slug was really nasty.
Yeah.
Whee! Ouch!
Got where we
And
needed
final
to be.
check.
Small chest, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. And off we go.
Yup.
Camera
We are thinking we're off to Kakariko now.
Have we got magic? No.
No.
We
So
know
not
where
Shadow.
one of them is, which is magic locked.
Have we ever looked at this hint? River Foolish.
There is River Foolish. We've only just got Nocturne, so like that's fair.
This
Oh my
game.
god. None of them are dungeon foolishes either.
We don't have foolish dungeons.
Oh, well, that... Yeah,
Yeah,
We
we
need
don't
two
have
of them
foolish
a
dungeons.
path.
The game otherwise would at least give us one dungeon foolish hint.
Yeah.
So,
We're doing a bit of dipping today.
yeah, we're definitely getting items from all of our 8 dungeons. Lovely. And from all of our side dungeons as well. Aren't those also in the foolish dungeon pool?
Yep.
Yeah. Something's in
Well,
the well.
Well, and
Something is in
Ice
ice.
Cavern and
TTG.
TTG are now
Yeah.
all officially required. Not
They could
necessarily
be-
useful items.
Yeah, they could be
But logically
non-slingshot
required.
slingshots and things like that. So they could be. It could be a load of bull in there, or it could be something really, really useful. And prieR has decided to go back to fire.
Nope. This is an ice
Or back to.
Rushing ice now. An hour and
They
3
did the
minutes.
outro.
But all I could say is that Spirit Temple locks Song of Storms and Minuet. Probably. At least that's
Yeah.
the way I'm thinking. But
So
we'll
by the
They
way,
have a
this-
deep. Go on.
This hint just or these foolish hints rather, they mean that this isn't just a an all dungeon seed. This is a world tour. Or at least logically it is. Let's see if we actually need to do it.
We're going a lot of places.
Yeah.
Although prieR is missing one thing that West0pher has, and that's those iron boots on Dampe digging.
And the mirror shield. But you gotta
Yeah.
think, probably would get the mirror shield at some point.
The mirror
knowing that.
shield, he knows where it is.
Yeah.
But it could be a last location for the iron boots. And that still opens up more things so far. We haven't found another scale yet.
Yeah, Duster, that's it. As far as I know, that's what's happening. Logic will, or the randomizer will want to hint a foolish dungeon if it can at all. Oh, it's biased towards it, but not 100% guaranteed. I take back what I said. Thanks, Inko. Interesting.
I think it's also
Okay,
a
so
factor
strike
that
from the record what I just said.
There's a
dungeons have at least
slingshot.
4 checks, and the randomizer tries to give you the most dense, foolish locations.
That could still be useful for Child Spirit, but it looks like, yeah, prieR's probably not going to be picking up that slingshot.
We
He's
have
just
bomb
trying to peek
shoes.
here.
Yeah, getting bullied by the Socherok.
And that looks
The
like a
fucking-
heart piece or a ruby.
Yeah, seems something blue, doesn't it?
And we are going for that slingshot. Makes sense.
Oh, I see.
Might need it for Child Spirit.
Yeah, just Child Spirit. That's the only thing. The boomerang is still MIA, and it could be really anywhere. Now, that's how we know.
Yeah. Our path hints are kind of resolved.
Not just
know,
kind of, they are completely resolved.
Yeah, there's very. The only thing maybe is like, I don't know, Kikiri Forest could have the boomerang and not just the bomb bag, but yeah, like we're kind of on our own now. It's just us and the seed. As Kylie Minogue would have said, I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Woof.
Whee!
Oh, is it not? I did. You know what? When I said it, I was like, I could be wrong here, so. I'm happy we've got 80s, 90s pop. people here. Yeah, West
Look,
climbed.
OOT Randomizer is a kind of a millennial thing at the moment, so it figures.
Yeah, everybody is between the ages of 28 to 32. No, not everybody, but
No, but I'm 31, so
there are definitely. I know people who are
Turning
outside
29
that age
next
range.
month, so yeah.
Hands up if you're not between the ages of 28 to 32.
We should definitely have a Cross Keys tournament for Ocarina of Time. Why don't we have one of those?
Any 33ers. So nothing in ice so far. What we got? What's that? That's a blue pea. Some good schools here as well. So nice area to come to.
That looks like a small chest.
So if Ice Cavern's useful, mostly for the song, apparently.
It normally is, though sometimes you might find a little tidbit.
Yeah, purple. I'm at the good age that I'm 30, so I can easily work out my age. I will not know soon.
I mean, Alex did it right. I did the same thing. Just put your birth year in your nickname.
Your birth year is G?
He was born in the year G.
it was. No, I'm not even gonna.
It was
my
very
Twitch
hard to
nickname ends in 91. I'm being bullied.
I was about to say, is G a Roman numeral? I know D is.
Yeah, and so
D is 50, I think. C is 100.
D is
100%.
500. G is not a Roman numeral.
No, G isn't even a letter in the Roman alphabet.
They're still in ice. Go on.
G obviously just stands for Grenouille, which is French for frog. So Tobias is actually a frogman. But he's become German
You are
over time.
confusing me more and more.
Good.
All right,
must
small
confuse
chest
everyone.
in the ice cavern. The one small chest you really need to open.
There
And
it
that's
is.
a horse.
It
Yes,
looks like
rushing
we
ice
all-
would have been a good play.
We all guessed right then.
It's just whether the bow is... That bow and fire is the only bow available. If there's another bow about, then these runners could have...
There's still
Not on
Water
deep
Temple. Water Temple is still the only other dungeon we can access. Magic could still be there, or GTG, or Fortress, or the Last of Valley. Oh my god, putting the horse in the freezer. Oh my gosh.
Mage asking, did West get the toilet hint? It's in the DMC wall.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, cool.
That should give him a huge leg up. Because now he can do toilet. And he can actually finish Spirit once he gets magic.
Oh, that's a good point. prieR doesn't have the iron boots to do the toilet, but West does.
Ooh, that might actually be a big disadvantage for prieR, depending on where that third strength is.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is hiking, I think.
It's GTG.
Yeah.
Well, we have a bow and we have a horse. We're probably seeing big pose beforehand. Not leaving that chick behind.
Yeah, and West also has the mirror shield as well. So with the strength 2 from the toilet and the mirror shield in tow, we're going to see West being able to do Spirit as well. Big pose.
Oh!
Often
Whoa!
forgotten.
Almost got
In the
away.
nick of time.
Let's see if Big Pose is something.
Here you aim. Of course, that is the EUNA aim thing is a bit of a joke about American players missing.
Yeah. Mostly to do with
I don't even know
FPS
where that
games,
came from.
like FPS games like Call of Duty or Team Fortress 2 or that sort of thing. Or Overwatch. Just because, you know...
Well, because you Americans are playing on your gosh darn consoles, and we Europeans use mouse and keyboard for shooters as
Well, I mean, there's plenty of PC
They
gamers
should-
here. It's just that, you know, the European video game market was completely different for like 30 or 40 years.
Oh, very
There's-
much so.
There was no crash of 1983 in Europe.
Hold on, wait a minute. There are other games than Ocarina of Time?
Yeah, I'm not sure, not quite sure, but apparently they made another one.
They made another one, another game.
Majora's Mask.
Oh, I've heard that one. That's the one that's like this but different.
Like this, but different, and you get to transform. And you're basically on
that's
a
the one
timer.
where, you know, the child in this game can't use a hookshot, but the child in the other game can use a hookshot.
And the hook shot in that game is basically like Marth's grab range in Melee, where you can go all over the place.
And your horse is slightly better controllable.
Yep.
Case in point, this frickin' bridge.
Well, prieR has just gallantly hopped over the plank and the fence there with the horse. So,
Well, to be fair, she is very exceptionally talented at jumping over things. Ooh, that's like 30 skulls.
get in there, get in there.
Both of our runners are like 30.
And we've got so many dungeons to crawl through as well that, you know, like I was saying before, we're dipping so many places today that I weren't overly concerned about getting the hints. Oh, that's a big chest!
Hammerrocks has
Oh, boomerang! So, hold on, wait a minute. Bomb bag to get, hammer to get, boomerang resolves that Kokiri Forest path to Baronade hint.
You also have to go into Ice Cavern to get the horse. Because we still haven't found Longshot yet.
Horse?
Yeah,
Horse.
horse!
Horse? You know what I say to that?
It's a horse, of course, of course.
I say nay.
This horse is a little hoarse, wouldn't you say? I say nay. I'm a poet now.
And you didn't realise.
Now take a bow. The clapping.
Castor, I don't know what I've got myself into here.
Yeah, wait, hold on. You're all giving us stick, but I'm pretty sure us talking about Big Break was even worse. And look, I brought it up again in another commentator thing.
Well, I mean, if you mute us all right now, then you're just gonna have to hear the lovely noises of Gerudo Valley playing in the background.
I think actually that's an improvement.
True.
Possible.
And I'm pretty sure everyone will have a good idea of where they're going. Honestly, someone should just do like a mock-up Dr. Seuss sort of thing, but with Epona.
So what prieR needs is a strength. That's not in the toilet. And also needs it to be plentiful and find the second mirror shield. Even though they do have the boomerang now, it's kind of like... Oh, you've got a progression dungeon that's on the path to Spirit.
There we go! We'll see what's on both 1500 and 1000. Nope. Another slingshot!
Slingshot? Okay.
Well, I don't... Neither of them necessarily lock each other, since you could just ignore the one on the iceberg, but the one on the iceberg would be much easier to grab anyways, because you're on the way to get a bonus song. But West0pher is also been going that way. I think he can also check Tektite Grotto. There's one key. And there's a big chest right here. Goron Tunic!
T-shirts.
Get your free t-shirt!
prieR raiding the closet of the Gerudos.
We're the Tomb Raiders. We're basically like Lauren Croft.
Lara Croft?
Lara Croft from Tomb Raider.
Big chest.
There's a lot of big chests in here. Another bomb bag!
Brain working.
Yeah, it's Lara Croft.
So that's bomb locked because we needed to be able to hand in the letter for us to get the horse.
Correct.
Still haven't found the other scale yet that would have allowed us to get in there.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure how these two had the intuition to get into deep fire for that bow.
I can't wait to ask them, like, because I know I would never have been in deep fire. Like, I am not finding that bow.
I probably would have gone in deep fire just because that actually saved me in one of the qualifiers. That actually allowed me to rush ice as well, coincidentally enough.
really hope this doesn't fall to prieR not checking that Dampe when he could have done once or twice. Really hope he's able to get the iron boots and get back into it.
Hammer is on Bomb Shoe Bowling. This is the second prize.
Yeah. So hard bomb locks.
Oh yeah. Well, he's pretty low on health, so he's gonna
The iron boots are on Dampe digging. prieR did have a couple of opportunities to pick it up. There was one opportunity when they walked to Kakariko instead of just save quitting. And then another time we think it was Dampe time, very quite likely, but didn't go and check.
Well, he could do Jabu. It's basically like, where the heck is the long shot now? It could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Could just be chilling in Shadow Temple for all we know. Also,
Well,
where's your magic?
Hold on.
Hold on. We know where one magic is, but that's useless to us.
Brain is churning. So, the bomb bag got a Sapona song, which makes the path to Baronade, which means the long shot has to be bomb locked. Yeah?
Yeah. It could still be in like Water Temple. Because of that. That would be hard. That would be bomb locked. Most of the seed is bomb locked.
Iron
we did.
boots aren't.
It's fair. Almost all of this ruddy seed was
Iron
bomb
boots. Iron boots didn't open up anything.
That's true, not without a hook shot.
Or a bomb bag.
Yeah, we do have a path hook. It is Path of Morpher. That's sometimes that working out that logic can be really cool if it's PG, because you know that it's hook locked hook then.
We're remembering that there is a strength in the toilet. No, wait. Did both of them get that hint?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I think from
wall.
my knowledge.
They both did. I saw it. But only West0pher will be able to grab that.
Yeah, good point. I haven't been checking out the sizes of the chests in the maze.
We'll get a better look at it after we kill the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's a key.
We're a walking mass extinction event here in Silver Gauntlets.
Oh, West! West, you've got one! Don't wiggle like that. Concentrate!
That is so tight.
Yeah!
The fucking clutch, man.
Huggies!
That is a big chest in the center.
Big chest in the center.
Keys. 2 small keys right here.
So we have enough keys.
Yes, indeed.
Song of Time we started with, so we don't need to worry about Song of Time logic. Strength 2 logic, though, is a possibility. Because we need all 9 keys to get into the centre of this chest.
Indeed.
Is this a strength? Is this
one way
big?
to find out? Lens of truth.
Well, you need that. It has to be before here.
Of course.
Yeah.
Silver Block Room has the last 2 keys.
Well, that indicates, like you were saying before, you now know the iron boots have to be before Spirit. Or before crossing the wasteland, because you need all 9 keys. So you need strength 2.
You mean about Lens of Truth being before the Wasteland?
Yeah.
So pre-open up the toilet, but obviously can't go in there because it doesn't have hover boots. Sorry, iron boots.
But magic would also have to be before.
Magic has to be before.
Before Spirit Temple and Haunted Wasteland.
Magic in forest.
It could be in forest, it could be in water, and it could be in the silver block room of GTG. That's all I'm thinking for now.
Yeah, we need to see what's in the center. The strength 2 checks here. That could be harmful if it's something important.
I'm just hoping that West0pher decides to do toilets, although his heart count's a little concerning.
I don't think we know enough about the strength logic yet, Milkweed, to confirm.
Well, we started off with Song of Time. Iron Boots were in. Well, it's certainly bomb locked. We know that, and it's also ZL locked because our first hook shot was in the Deku tree, and we needed to get a bomb bag in order to get. So I don't think they really lock each other. At least from what I'm reading.
For the knowledge that we have at the moment.
But yeah, both of them are definitely bomb locked.
Yes.
We can't check Sun's Grave quite yet. Until we finish Forest, of course. But I'm pretty sure they think that it's just for Din's Fire.
Yeah, so Forest is path for Bongo. We found Dins in there. So that's kind of a resolution to that. But still nothing to say that Forest is an ass and puts another item in there.
You mean like magic on Phantom Ganon? Or just more junk, and then somehow Sun's Grave has magic?
Oh no, don't. Don't. Yeah, because prieR's going to get Requiem. So crossing is cool because you know you're picking up Requiem anyway, so you may as well come and, you know, check this out.
I am so glad that keys just drop lots and lots of hearts. Sometimes. It looks like they're dropping them now.
The pity hearts.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about West0pher drowning.
We have all the hints, we do, don't we? We're in hint no mode.
Yeah. And of course, our beloved Requiem is right here.
Ba-da-da-da-ba-da.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Let's see, where's my Ocarina?
You have an Ocarina?
Yes. I bought it back in 2017, so it's really cool that I can at least play a few things on here.
Ryan's so cool.
Well, songs are hard, indeed.
Songs are hard unless you're Lee Harrold.
We are learning so much about Lee today.
I mean, you could find one on eBay or Amazon, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think I bought my nephew an Ocarina. That's actually like an Ocarina of Time as well.
Nice. Make your nephew a hero of time, so that he can save the world from an old man.
Playing tennis.
Yes.
Oh, I'm about to say there's a big chest, but we know that's a big chest.
Of course. It's still exciting to see.
That. Big chest! Yeah,
That's
prieR
strength.
is heading to Jabu. Get your silver gauntlets in chat!
Silver gauntlets.
Indeed.
Hold on. I'm not subscribed. I'm gonna have to unlock it.
Excuse you?
I know. Let me unlock it. Alright, I've got it.
That's the name of the channel. Silver gauntlets.
I can't believe I wasted 480 points! No, I'm joking. Okay, prieR heading to Jabu. West, the next interesting thing we'll see from West is the silver block room. Otherwise, it's just going to be a repeat of GTG.
Yep.
Can't have a commentator not being subscribed here. SMH
Oh,
my head.
Tobias. You lovely son of a gun.
First.
You sweetie pie.
Daw.
There we go.
Wait, you gifted 6 months of
Yes.
Tobias?
You're very lucky now. You get 6
What are
months
you doing?
6 months of toilet and ZSR. Well, silver gauntlets.
You're crazy.
No comment.
I love you.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
That generous jerk did that to me as well.
Yeah, you're not getting your channel points back though.
Yeah, I've already wasted. I've now used 50,480 points today in this channel. Speaking of which, do we need another prediction?
Good question.
Don't know what we can
First
do.
of all, though, let's find out what, if anything, is in the like room today.
Yeah. Good point. It looks like it's 2 small chests and 2 small keys. Because
Jabu
we've seen
Oh
the
yeah, it
2.
has to be 2 small keys. We've seen all the other checks.
Yeah.
Well.
Wow, wow, wow.
So at least prieR won't be punished for this GTG back room, which is good. That's nice
You
to
might
see.
still check it just in case.
When they pick it up.
Depending on where magic is, too. Is that?
I hate spotting that check. Like, that is one
Oh,
that
that is a small chest, yeah.
I never see that one correctly.
Like, you just really need to have that really good screen in order to tell. You get to see what's on bubbles. It's strange that the floating skulls are called bubbles, and the bubbles in this game are called shabops. But then again, enemy names in Legend of Zelda are just as awkward and strange as the trainer names in Pokemon Colosseum and XD. It's like, where did they even come up with these names? They even call the snakes in the other Zelda games ropes. Yes, we need to see like more enemies in the Breath of the Wild 2 game. Because all we really saw were like there's bokoblins.
Ooh, big chest.
We already know that one. See?
Oh, did we?
Yeah, West0pher got it.
Yeah,
right.
sure. I thought that was a check that was deeper in the dungeon. Pardon me.
see what Baronade has for us today. But I'm pretty certain that the first magic is probably in Water Temple. Unless Longshot happens to be in Spirit. Well, it could still be magic in Water Temple. Regardless.
So, I guess prieR is going to be clearing up this Jabu now. There's no more checks here until Grenade. And then West is going to be climbing and then completing Spirit as long as the key logic is nice. As long as it's an adult key.
It could still be a Jabu, there's water, and there's forest. I think those are our last checks.
Yeah, we've pretty much cleared a lot of the seed, and that's kind of understandable. There's not a lot left seeing as theirs.
The Sunsong Grave one is probably the worst timeline.
Yeah. I mean, we are 2 hours 15 in, and we have 2 medallions.
At least Tree is done with collecting skulls, or almost done with collecting skulls, though. Is at 34.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're going to be very ahead on the skull count.
Grabbing that purple Skittle.
I think that's more of a cookie.
It's a flat Skittle. Someone flattened the Skittles. But who doesn't like purple cookies? They're like pretty patties, except that they're cookies. I see. West0pher is one of those kinds of people who go all the way to the crates. I don't even think about the crate. Yeah, I almost never think about going towards the crate when I do forward Wasteland.
Yeah, this seed has done a really good job of leaving us until the last opportunity to find items. And what do we really need? Long shot? Magic.
Magic and light arrows.
Magic and light arrows, yeah.
Just those 3. And they could be... well, magic can be anywhere before Haunted Wasteland and Desert Colossus.
Oh my god, really... Death Star is bringing up a cursed possibility in chat. If Longshot is vanilla, so sitting in Water Temple somewhere, Light Arrow cutscene could have our first magic.
Yeah.
Neat.
It's not as cursed as having it on Sunsong.
I mean, sure, but marginally. But first, here's Baronade.
Spirit could be not Longshot locked, and it could be Storms on Prelude and just be chilling in the well.
Oh, it's somewhere accessible, somewhere before Spirit Temple. Because we need magic logically to get here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a very, very messy phase 2. Getting knocked around twice. That's gotta sting. And I'm not just saying that literally.
Because it's a jellyfish.
Of course. Oh, third phase is not going much better.
Free is not having a good time fighting Baronade today.
Ooh.
Oh, nice!
Nice
Well
string.
done. Well done.
Well, it's starting to smooth out here.
Baronet is definitely one of those bosses where if you get the rhythm of it right, it feels so good. GG's for prieR. I really hope this is a strength. I really want this to be a strength on Baronet. I'm crossing my fingers!
We'll see in a minute.
Definitely not required this scene, so it can be just about anywhere. Long shot!
Long shot! Whoa! Okay. But prieR doesn't have the iron boots to do water.
Nor the gold scale.
Or the gold scale. Oh.
Vex is still possible with that, by the way.
Doesn't really give prieR options. But it also did mean that opponents was needed to get the boomerang to beat Baronade because to get the long shot. So it was definitely required ice.
It looks like an adult play. No! Whew! What's he gonna be doing now?
There's the BK in adult climb.
Well... Whew. Oh, prieR's going to Fairy.
Ah, have we...
Yeah, we did.
We have
seen this
earlier.
Yeah.
But what does West0pher do after this? It doesn't have the time of day for Dampe at all.
Actually, Pre might have time of day?
No.
It moves in Castle as well.
I know, but
if he walks out of here and then walks over to Kakariko, that might be just about right.
Yep.
There's a big chest in Spirit. Strength? Bottle? Okay.
That is number 3, I think.
I'm really just hoping that prieR can get another strength. But soon it's not going to matter because they're about to pick up iron boots.
This might be a chicken's play.
Oh dear.
Not going for the hint, so not going to know it's Sun's on Ocarina time. But at this point, it doesn't really matter.
Get your roll calls in chat, people! This might be a chicken's play. Because we can't go to the bottom of the well until we beat Spirit Temple, at least.
Chickens! We are seeing chickens on Restream.
When you're doing chickens at 2 hours 21 in, you kind of just have to go like, just a big exhale and be like, I've got to do this now.
The thing is, routing in chickens early isn't that bad. If you do it early in the game, especially when you haven't done Kakariko as an adult yet, you can actually route in most of the checks in Kakariko on that chicken's play, and that turns it from 2 minutes 30 seconds for a single check into something quite bearable.
Yeah. We could have done chickens in our Child 1 segment, which was after our Adult 1 segment, but this was kind of available, kind of nice to root in early, but often you want to kind of avoid chickens. It takes about 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30 to do this check, which is why it's a bit of a meme in the community.
Yep. So now we know that Forest or Water Temple has our first logical magic. Good to know. And once West0pher goes to Jiaofu, then he could basically just finish up Water Temple. And it's basically just finding skulls. Small chest.
Big chest in Spirit. FW.
Nice. That I think that will help up. Well, it's a little late, to be honest. It'll be more useful in Water Temple, that's for sure.
Could have used it in something like a Child Jabu if we had it earlier, but now it's kind of all the uses for it, except for Shadow a little bit. Not really going to help.
Cash money. That's 2 minutes prieR isn't getting back.
Uh-oh. Is he just... Hopefully he decides to just go, change time of day and then go back child. Still a time loss, but it's worth it, I think.
Child Spirit would be out of logic.
We could find Strength 3 in here.
Requiem of Spirits was vanilla, so was on the Spirit Temple song check. So...
It could also be in Ganon's Castle, which we're probably never gonna get. Which would also explain why OGC is foolish.
I think this is Forest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we don't have Minuet.
Yeah, it's the quickest way to get there.
Minuet's locked behind Spirit Temple for sure.
Oh, what am I betting? Magic and Forest. What did you vote for, Tobias?
I did not.
Strength 2, we found one in the toilet in GTG, and there's one on King Todongo.
I'm voting no. It's in water.
I'm thinking water or forest. If there's nothing else in forest, then it's clearly for the Din's Fire, and that's going to be a huge time loss for prieR.
Yeah, it could be Magic on Suns. Could be... We've also got, that one where you shoot the sun. That's what it's called, shoot the sun.
Yeah.
Available to us.
True.
Could be that.
And that would still be in logic, because, Boomerang was just in Valley.
Yeah. Yeah, not Magic locked.
The Siege logic trail to even get to Desert Colossus seems rather sketchy. But that Haunted Wasteland magic meter is just like an absolute middle finger. I was about to say fetchy for some reason, and I realized that's not a word.
We got one runner in Forest.
Well, I mean, we already did fetch a long time ago with Richard the Dog.
Millions of dogs in the world tell you every day that fetch is indeed happening.
Yes. Puppies are always a good palate cleanser in case you read something just awful on the internet. And Richard the Dog is no exception here.
Well, there's a bus key in Forest. That certainly is bow-locked.
Yep.
So West will do Jabu after this, so we're going to see a bit more of tailgating from West next. So kind of all eyes on prieR at the moment, see if anything's in the Forest Temple.
Ooh! Troll Rova rearing her ugly head. Or their ugly head. Because there's two of them.
Get a cheeky wink? Oh yeah.
They should have called this game Link's Awakening, at least from this scene.
Yikes. Oh my god. Oh boy.
Dear. Oh dear. Throwover's dead. Thank goodness.
Yeah, it would be fun just to see Twinrova fighting again when they're dead. Just listening to their sound effects was just funny.
And thanks for the raid, Schultzer and friends. Come in.
Hey, Schultzer!
It was even funnier when it's like they're arguing about their age, because one of them saying that I'm 380 and the other was like, I'm 400, even though they're twins. One of them is lying. Kind of sus.
Mm-hmm. Not to be trusted.
There's at least one key between this room and the gamer shot room. Oh, there's Song of Storms.
So
Ah, so it's just
burning cag.
Just on the green. Okay.
Well, hopefully West0pher remembers that he still logically needed the magic in order to get to Spirit.
Yeah. It still could be long shot though in West0pher's eyes.
Yeah.
So
But
could imagine them doing.
He's gonna be doing Jabu first, and that will probably just send him
Oh
to
yeah, Doi. Of course.
skipping well entirely.
Yeah, definitely. If they're on track with the logic, then you could pretty much just skip the well, knowing that you're only after the magic and that the well is magic locked. Yeah, you definitely do Jabu first.
Well, we know where all the small keys in Forest are now. Damn! Well done, prieR. That chain jump slash.
Pretty good.
That's not easy.
Is that another small chest?
And there's
So if it's
3 more
gonna be-
checks.
yeah, if it's gonna be forest, it's gonna be near the back end of forest.
There's 3 more checks in here, and then 1 in the graveyard. Shudder to think that one of those 4 could still potentially be magic, but it could also be bait. Because Water Temple also has 4 checks.
Yeah. Yeah, and currently, with no gold scale, prieR doesn't have any way of getting in. West's second trip to Jabu today. They've already done the front end.
Shield.
So this will only take about 6 minutes.
There's a small chest in the checkerboard room.
Yeah, still opening it.
Potentially for extra nuts.
Yeah, interesting what Dazstar said about doing OT. They actually don't know it's Sun Song. They haven't checked the hint. So it could be storms in their head. Yeah, the OOT hints in Hyrule Castle too, and prieR hasn't done that. So they could think it's storms.
Almost! It looks like Anne got away this time.
That's Amy done for. Time to move on to Meg.
Well, prieR has more than enough arrows to take care of her.
Has a hook shot as well, and that's the better tool.
It is indeed.
True. Get to save on arrows by using the long shots.
Yeah, not just that. I learned recently that it's a bit a few frames quicker to use the hookshot here. Because if you use arrows, Meg will get thrown backwards from each shot that hits her. Meanwhile, if you use a hookshot, you pull her towards you.
Yep. Oh, like, being demonstrated right now. Who doesn't like getting hugs, though?
Good question.
He's taking out Meg.
And onto the basement. 2 checks left to go.
Yep. But it's a free skull to pick up. And prieR is on 35 at the moment.
So getting pretty close to that elusive 40 count that we need for the light arrows.
Yep. Dispatching the berries. That's true, you could also, some bow shots can actually bring Meg closer to you, depending on the timing.
Interesting.
Here's PG. Still could be magic here. Last chance.
It's about a 1 in 6 chance now. Of what we, Oh wait, 1 in 7 because we have to shoot the sun as well.
Yeah! What is this? An octopus?
Nice job!
Oh. Yeah, that's what's known as a 0 cycle Phantom Ganon. Nice.
No, that was 1 cycle. He just
was it?
there.
Yeah.
Alright, but good trapping anyway.
Yeah, some people
would this
struggle
be
with the
prieR's
BGS
third
traps.
strength? Nope.
Nope. Just a stick.
Pay out the bets! Winner! Give me those points.
Magic indeed not in forest. Going for that Temple of Time, going for that Ocarina song.
Uh-huh.
Does know though that at this point it's either Sun Song or Minuet.
Yeah, they're going to be disappointed when they're going to get the Sun Song here. They were hoping for Storms, I think, and yeah, they're going to pick up the Sun Song. I mean, you know, could be in there, could be in the Sun's grave.
That would be disgusting, but it is certainly possible.
Looks like he's just gonna walk it out there instead of playing Serenade.
Marginally quicker to do Serenade.
It's an easy song to play.
That's a good one. Now do Bolero.
Sure.
That's so cool. Okay. I
Sorry
need to
about
get me
that.
one of those.
I like it. I just need to learn more about playing the Ocarina. But you can't play songs like Through the Fire and Flames through it because that's way too many. That'd be way too many holes for like a 12-hole ocarina. And like being so fast with it.
Though, if anyone in chat feels like making it a challenge and trying to play through the fire and flames on Ocarina, please do record yourself.
Yeah, this is a 12-hole.
Okay.
West picking up the long shot.
Yeah, prieR is picking up his iron boots. Whether or not that Song grave is going to be anything, he remembered that he wants it to be Dampé o'clock before warping to the graveyard.
Moment of truth.
Yeah, the sun's grave. I don't know if it's going to be good for him. If this is
Moment of truth,
magic.
people.
I think this would be good for prieR.
I think that would be very good for prieR.
No!
The forest is bait. My
Oh.
goodness.
And West0pher is going straight to adult. This is a good sign.
Yeah, not doing the well.
prieR getting his iron boots here is an important thing.
They're both pretty much going to dash it to the water temple now, so we're going to see probably double water.
Yep.
Indeed.
It is bait.
Man. Well, I guess it shows that we know who our first game's winner is going to be.
I wouldn't call it yet.
He's a full spirit ahead, though.
Yeah, and we pretty much think that this magic is in here.
Yeah,
I think
it has to be.
West would need to not full clear water and make a decision to stop checking water for the magic and go back to forest, I think.
Yeah. But I don't think, I don't really think that's an option. There's 4 items to check in here.
Yeah.
And some of them have to be keys for the layout. Well, we found our first item.
There's one item.
Yeah, 5 was Shoot the Sun, but Shoot the Sun is technically like Hylia. But yeah.
And prieR is checking it first.
It's a
And that's
bottle
a bottle.
of milk.
Bottle of
In
milk.
particular. Sky milk.
Sky Milk.
Stars.
It's it came from the Skyloftians that stayed.
Does West have a fairy? Because
No.
they're dead. They dead.
Oh yeah.
But in chat.
F. With no
right.
Aries.
Morbid death animation when you drown. Hey look!
Yeah,
look at that sink!
that is
That's
kind
so
of
cool!
creepy.
Okay, sink over.
He's very buoyant though. I could say that.
Yeah. Just floats to the top. Which is surprising with all the long shots and Megaton hammers that you can't hold with 2 hands.
I could not see what was behind cracked wall there.
No, prieR didn't get the gold scale liquidus. They found the iron boots eventually on Dampé digging. So they're able to be in here.
That's a small chest, so it's like a small key or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see. It's a small key. Okay. Now we know. And right here is the big chest.
Big chest. Oh, here we go.
There's a
Is
third-
this magic?
Heart required iron boots this seed.
Scale. Oh no.
Oh my god!
And West is like, oh my god, a big chest. Is it going to be magic? Oh my god, magic? Nope.
Someone
Nope.
paid Jackstronomy because Iron Boots weren't DLC today.
Oh my god! Oh. That is awful.
Yeah, so for
Oh
those...
wait, there's also lax too.
Yeah. I've been theory crafting about Max having out magic for a while now.
It's a 33% chance. That's another small
Well, it could
thing.
also be on Morpha, so 25 at the moment.
I'm pretty sure that central pillar has to be a small key or big key. Let's see. prieR's probably going to do a save and quit here. But Season 5 rears its ugly head because Water Temple has something today. And it's not just the gold scale. Well, it might be the gold scale only. But
follows the pattern of no Baron dungeons. Yeah, we've seen 2 items, and the other 2 items now need to be behind the 5 key locked key doors. So they need to be 2 of 3 of River, Darklink, and this boss key chest here. And the other 2 checks are Darklink and River. Our last 2 items.
Well, we are seeing the Darkling loop for today, that's for sure.
Of course, we still need the BK as well, and that could be in any of the checks, because the BK gets placed first in the randomizer.
But yeah, that's definitely a spare key. prieR is not going to be happy about this. We know that magic is either on lax or it's in the last 2 item checks in Water Temple. So there's a 67% chance that magic is in Water Temple. A 33% chance for it to be in the Temple of Time.
Yeah, and we know that because we need to cross the desert, which is magic locked, and we know where the second magic is, and that the second magic is hard magic locked in the wasteland.
Yep.
And everything else is behind either storms or spirits, and therefore the magic can't be there.
We know our Burning Cack song too.
Did we see DMT Fairy?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, we must have done.
It was a junk item.
Pre wisely picking up that key because we're going to Darklink.
Well, because you probably used 1 to get that skull near boss key chest.
Yep.
Yeah, Wasteland is one of the, 33 sometimes hints, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I Meltqueen quite recently ranked all the sometimes hints. Oh, nice little play to get that skull there.
Of course. Yeah, pre is on 4 hearts right now. And I think West0pher has a couple more because he got a few recovery hearts. You could still reset the timer for the iron boots for a bit.
You can like equip and unequip them. I don't really know when the timer like stays, but you can like do a little quickie offy onny, and it resets the timer.
Yeah. We know that 20 Skulls is dead because it was hinted.
And we've definitely seen 10. prieR handed in 10 a while back.
But yeah, this is a Dark Link loop, because Boss Key is most likely back there.
Yeah.
Which means our final item.
Which means West0pher has the last item, some say.
Yep.
Fun, fun, fun! And we already know Shoot the Sun is dead. So we're really rapidly running out of places where this magic could be.
Yeah, and I think that going to Temple of Time over Force would be a better priority.
Oh yeah, you could just play Prelude and then play Bolero.
Indeed.
And West is being forced to check the
Lab Dive was hinted. It was hinted to have bomb shoes, so...
And we have indeed seen that dive.
Yeah.
West picked that shoe pack up.
Who wouldn't pick up a pack of shoes? They're really fun and versatile to use.
Pick up a penguin.
The penguin. West0pher just needs one more skull, and he can easily get it in river. Very nice.
Yeah, good Dark Link there. Oh, so that's a small chest. So River is the BK.
Uh-huh.
Or Dragon? Did you see the Dragon chest? Yeah, we didn't see Dragon.
But I believe... Yeah, it's just one item, which means West0pher could still be a key.
prieR, no!
So close!
Saved. Saved. Don't put the iron boots.
Saved by the bell here.
Saved by the laws of physics. 39 skulls. So there's only one item left in... Nope! It's not in Water Temple! So it's on Temple of Time.
Light arrow cutscene. Here we go.
And if it's not on there, we give up. That's it. We go home.
You basically ponder your life choices for a bit here.
And then I'm just like, wait a minute. Yeah, West0pher's a small key.
West0pher has to be a key. Yeah, we did see the field scrub. It was also Baron.
Yeah, we've seen those hints. Those checks.
A long time ago!
I can still
A
remember.
few hours ago. The seed was just like unnecessarily rude.
It truly was. They basically wanted you to finish water and Jabu before spirits.
You know,
That
Lax
was
is a
a
test
nice quick pull.
that was
Target... Well, Lost Woods is foolish, so no. It wouldn't have anything.
Lax is a
But
chest that
nice
can
quick
be missed.
prieR is going to be picking up his orange Skittle. He's just missing his green and blue Skittle. Oh, and West0pher doesn't get it, sadly. That's okay. You could probably pin them in the corner of the door.
It's pretty difficult to get.
It's, I think, a frame perfect trick, so yeah.
Yeah, you got to really feel for it.
Frame perfect or close to it, maybe a few frames, but you don't have a lot of time to grab that amoeba.
Here's Prelude. Go!
Of course! Well, Ginger was right. It's better than doing all dungeons. It's probably what West0pher will be doing after checking what's on Shoot the Sun.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason...
Well, the only thing could be is that you forget the lax check, which people do on a regular basis.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been for the longest time that Light Arrow cutscene just gave you Ganon's boss key. That is now just airdropped to you, so Light Arrow cutscene is a normal check, but it's still in a lot of people's heads. Just it's ingrained in there.
Yeah, it's still forgettable. Every time so often you see people with the 2 medallions and they go and change ages. They're like, oh yeah, like lax. Oh yeah, that's an item.
Yeah, that's a thing.
But it's still much less of a hike to actually just play the song than to just play Bolero and then go all the way to Forest. I'm thinking that's probably going to be what happens after this. And while it looks like prieR is slightly ahead, the reality is he still has a third to finish.
Mage26 in chat asking, won't West just go mode Shadow? Yes, but go mode Shadow in many cases is just Shadow.
Yeah, because you still have to find 5 keys and the boss key.
The only thing you really can't skip, if the key layout is kind to you, is the last few rooms at the end of the dungeon. The invisible maze, basically, and the rooms coming off of that.
So we'll see if the other strengths in here. prieR will be after that second strength, so they will definitely be doing everything to make sure they get that. So
prieR knows where that second strength is. Has read the hint, knows that it's sitting in the toilet. So
there might still be another strength out in the wild, but it's unlikely.
Yeah.
Like, since none of the dungeons are hinted foolish, they could still have, like, 1 or 2 things. Like, fire arrows were missing. Yeah, prieR is in no mode, for sure.
True. That's very true. Very true. Better to just suck up, do the toilet, than do the back of Shadow for potentially.
This was actually a pretty good seed, to be honest, in terms of routing out the logic.
Yeah, it wasn't many logical shenanigans. It was just a faff. It was just a faff.
Of course.
Yeah, big advantage to West at the moment.
Yeah.
Just needs to have solid execution and not do something like dying to Bongo.
It's basically just a few minutes behind in Shadow, but overall he's still ahead by a full Spirit Temple.
Yeah,
There's
that's
DK.
kind of the problem.
Just needing 4 keys left in Shadow. But yeah, it's a very clean dead hand.
I think in pre's like small advantage is that West cleared all the spirit, and prieR will be able to get the DK, which is quite early, and it's in adult climb. So they'll be able to skip quite a lot of spirit.
Yeah.
But it's just not enough between needing to get the strength 2 at a GTG and, you know, this, what, like 90-ish seconds they've got ahead in Shadow.
Well, if there's a strength in Shadow, then that can help out prieR. If not, then it screws him over. If he decides to full clear for, you know, having to not do toilet.
Yeah, I think overall pre will be about 5 minutes behind. I think we'll probably see maybe pre entering Ganon's castle whilst West delivers the final blow.
And while prieR has already set up, like, access to the toilet, it's still actually hiking there.
Yeah, that's the worst part of it, is the movement there. And, I don't know, people might want to confirm, would it be quicker to play Requiem and reverse?
Marginally.
Well, we found one in the toilet, but we don't know if there's another one out there. If it's...
Happy 3 hours, everyone.
Oh my god. 3 hours.
No. Nope. OGC was hinted foolish long ago.
Thank you so much to our runners who are letting us restream this race and who are putting on a heck of a show for us tonight. Thanks to West0pher and prieR. Please consider following them if you are doing so already.
Well,
Thanks
we know
also to...
Sorry.
Thanks also to our trackers, Baseball, Mr. VGD, and Melcree, for keeping us up to date on the shenanigans of this seed. Thanks so much to Hell Knight, our restreamer, Ginger Sonny, our race monitor today, and thanks, of course, to my co-commentators Chuckles and Lee for keeping me company while we're sitting here with both runners going through Shadow Temple.
Thank you, Tobias, for being the amazing soul that you are.
For those 6 months worth of gift subs?
Yeah. I have to be nice to Tobias for 6 months now. I don't think I can do it.
Ouch! That's throwing some shade there.
Just the big sigh.
What even can I say to that?
Thanks, Alfalfa. Yeah, okay, so it's going to Gerudo Fortress and ride an opponent from Lake or Temple of Time is only 10 seconds slower, so yeah, it kind of makes sense. It feels just like naturally, it feels like one isn't massively slower than the other.
Recovery
Yeah,
hard
I love it.
spinning punch.
I love those streams when Alpha Houdini goes into the lab and does a lot of time and stuff. It's really interesting.
Well done, prieR. Let's see. Didn't quite do the setup here. He's got iron boots anyways. But still, it's kind of cool to set it up, because then you don't need to put them on. Because in this part it's a little bit faster.
Yeah, that side hopping is really cool.
And now finally we have magic.
Ooh, West dropped, but only gets to the other door, so not too much of a loss.
There's one key. See if we might have to go to the back.
Yeah.
There's still 2 chests remaining.
2 chances for us to find the final small key we need to get to Bongo Bongo. Let's see.
West fell off again.
Ouch.
Yeah. Oh, there's a big chest! There's a big chest!
This could be it. This could be the bailout.
Big chest! I don't care about this chest!
We're going to the back.
Is there a strength?
Nope.
No! Finally, a second bow. That is very, very bow-locked.
Very. Oh my god. That is so locked.
I want it to be a strength.
Well,
I know
There's-
baseball, I want it too.
well, there's still Bongo Bongo and the 3 other chests, and one of them has to be except for Bongo. Let's just hope that West0pher picks up that recovery heart, because 1.5 hearts for Bongo is not fun. Especially if you manage to screw up. Because he does 3 hearts of damage. Either that, or he could just set up for... Oh wait! He still has that bottle of milk, I forgot! He could just chug, chug, chug.
The finest Chateau London.
Hyrule's finest milk. But he's still gonna pick it up anyways. I just hope that he does a little...
Swag shot? Nope.
yes.
Not getting that today.
Or he could just pick up that hard piece in the same room as the second bow. Now he gets his...
That bow was at the end of Shadow, or yeah, basically near the end of Shadow Temple. How was that bow locked? Well, where was Din's Fire? Din's Fire was on the forest map chest.
Yep.
That's not particularly bow locked. Where was Magic?
It was on Lax, and I believe
Well-
one of the keys was... Yeah, one of the keys
Oh,
was
yeah.
unlocked.
Yeah, one of the keys is
Water.
water. Important. Yeah.
Then we have hover boots, which are in the Gerudo Valley waterfall. That's not bow locked. And a hookshot is in the Deku Tree, also not bow locked. And in Baronade. Actually, not very bow locked at all. I stand corrected.
Aside from,
Yeah, not bow locked, just very deep.
yeah. It's very deep into the sea, and the Fire Temple would have been faster anyways.
So if you didn't do deep fire and you went to ice and did spirit, and then did water, yeah, you could have avoided the deep fire.
Yeah, but
That'd
it
be
looks like...
interesting.
Ooh, there's still something on Bongo. There could still be something on Bongo. Let's see what Bongo's been smuggling.
Yeah. This is Bongo.
Or Ognob.
Which is Bongo backwards.
Of course. See what he has, and it is...
Survey says...
Nothing.
Retro B.
So Strength 3 is probably in Ganon's castle. It has to be. Or it's on Child's side Spirit.
Yeah, we have never seen that from either runner.
Yeah.
prieR's probably gonna pick up. Yeah, or well, and that would be strength 3, if that's the case.
Yeah, strength could be anywhere. Would make the 2 strengths path if they were in a. If they're in the well.
But this is a reverse play for toilets, because he knows that one is definitively a strength upgrade.
Yep. And from there, he can start Spirit Temple, as the adult side anyway.
West0pher's at 5 hearts, thankfully, so if he... Oh, he'll be full health, actually. All I need to do is get 5 crouch stabs, and that should be it. It didn't quite store, sadly. Indeed. We get more content of our boy Ognob.
He's called Bongo. It's called Bongo.
It's cool. It's so good they named him twice.
And he's down. That was actually a really clean bongo fight.
I'm sorry, Matt, for calling Bongo Ognob. Formal apology.
It almost sounds like eggnog. And we're in April. It's actually really close to Easter, too.
Eggnog can be had at any time of year.
Just eat chocolate eggs instead for this year. They taste better. Or you can have
not wrong.
Or you can have chocolate eggs with your eggnog.
Alright. Valkyrie, you are misguided, I'm sorry.
Yeah. What's the point of having egg in your alcohol?
The delicious vanilla custard with alcohol, that basically is an excuse to put alcohol in your vanilla custard.
Do people like drink eggnog outside of Christmas?
I don't.
Or is it just like a Christmas time thing?
Oh, over here in Germany, it's certainly an all year round thing.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Okay, prieR is
This is
jumping into the toilet. Yeah. Oh, they're picking up hearts for the
So he doesn't
underwater
drown
section.
because there's no fairies.
Good choice.
Denzel Crocker would have hated this place.
Well, there is a ferry you can get in the lobby of GTG.
True.
What?
Yeah. If you play Song of Storms, I believe.
Really?
And it's one of those super ferries that also replenishes your magic meter.
But you can't bottle it.
Interesting.
So that
I have
still
been
would help
tutored.
him with his drowning problem.
But you wouldn't need to connect hearts.
True. I see. He's more of a start from the top and work your way to the bottom kind of players.
Started from the bottom, now it hit. I apologise. Tiffer, who is winning? West0pher is very much winning. They're heading up to the top to kill a pig, also known as Ganon. and prieR is still needing to do the Spirit Temple. They're about to pick up their strength to help.
So all you can say is that Well is
Yes.
Yeah, well, indeed, not the play. Ice, on the other hand,
definitely the play.
was a required thing. Deep Fire was not.
Super required Epona, yeah.
Deep Water was not.
Indeed.
And avoided chickens.
This is basically a T receipt then.
Yeah, my prediction was prieR entering Ganon's when West is going to finish, but I'm pretty far off of that. I don't think they're going to be able to get to Twin
Yeah,
Rover.
not really, unfortunately. West0pher
Yeah.
has about another 4 minutes left in this video game. You will never find the light arrows that I dropped in Kakariko Village.
We know they're there. I already got hinted that.
I had to kill 40 spiders to get that.
Light arrow to the face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps with Big Stabby. That's Ganondorf done for West0pher.
It's over. Now we have to make some bacon.
And for probably the only time today, 3 hours and 16 minutes in, with the bestest regards to August 40th. Here's Ganon.
That was actually pretty good impersonation.
Thank you.
And for prieR, here's the boss key.
And here goes the Master Sword.
Oh no. Well, what do we do? The 3 stages of preparing bacon. First, to tenderize the meat. You use the Megaton hammer for that.
Did you get your butcher's knife ready?
No, it's still in a knife block, but here it is.
You gotta keep it nice and sharp.
Time
And by
to
your woman's
slice
side.
that bacon up.
Slice them and dice them for some delicious bacon. That is 3 hits so far. 4. 1 more and bam.
5. All that's left now.
Just to get your GGs in chat as we prepare for some bacon.
Yep, GG's in chat for West0pher, who is about to win this first of a best of 3 series of final matches in the Silver Gauntlets Challenge Cup. Congratulations to West0pher for finishing with a time of 3 hours, 17 minutes, and 56 seconds.
GG.
GG's.
GG's.
Yeah, I wonder how West is feeling, you know, finding that bomb bag kind of late, in quite an easy position in Mido's house. I wonder if West was like, the seed is locked behind this bomb bag and I got it pretty late, but Pre also got it late, so it wasn't, you know, they were neck and neck with each other.
He also got the He did get the iron boots fairly early.
Yep.
Yeah, that was really the nail in the coffin in the seed, wasn't it?
Yep.
So it looks like Pre is continuing. Might not have seen West0pher's.
Well, I mean, he is in go mode.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not
true.
that far behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pre did AD, and the gamble did not pay off whatsoever.
Yeah, last location, the magic on Lax as well, which didn't aid his cause. West is treating us to the whole cutscene.
And West0pher will join us for an interview. Excellent.
Sweet. GG's, West.
GG's. Thanks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Congratulations on winning the first in this round in the best-of-3 matchup.
Thank you.
That's that was a hard-earned win.
Yeah, thanks. prieR hasn't forfeited his, where is he at right now?
Spirit Temple.
Spirit Temple, just riding the elevator down.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, in essence, the difference between you two was the iron boots actually on Dampe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you were able to get that strength 2 kind of in one trip, and prieR last location, the magic on Lax as well. They did the whole of forest.
Oh.
They've done pretty much everything, and it's now just finishing off here. I guess kind of one of the questions that I want to ask both of you, because you both did very similar routing early on, and I'm really interested to find out your decision on going up the fire temple when you did before killing Volvagia. With the knowledge of where the strength 2 was, what was your thought process in doing that?
Right, at that point, really didn't have any kind of progress outside of fire and just killing Volvagia and then maybe going out and trying to find a way to GTG, because the bonus song wasn't guaranteed to be in ice. So I just thought, why not just clear out all the fire, see if I get bowl locked. I was hoping I was going to get bowl locked and then not having to worry about fire. And then, yeah, just go elsewhere.
But it's impossible to be bow-locked when you picked all the small keys before you even got there, so, which was insane.
I don't think I've ever seen that where I had all the small keys prior to the compass chest.
Yeah, like when you were in the lava room and the 5 checks you've done are all keys, it's like, well, there's still 6 items left in here. I may as well continue going up.
Yeah, exactly. That was also part of the thing. It was just there was just too high of a chance that there was something there.
And then again, like I said, you both were kind of following each other. You both got the bomb bag really late from Midos as well. When you saw that big chest in Midos after doing, Valley Lake and quite a lot of stuff, did you think that you were struggling at that point?
For sure, yeah. Before today, I think every single S5 seed has had all small chests in Midos, so I never
all those qualifiers.
I never rushed Forest anymore, because you never seemed to have to, so just this one time when I decided to go there late, bit me in the end.
and then you weren't able to pick out the Lost Woods is foolish until you had the bomb back.
Of course. Yeah, that
So
was
we saw you
a
there.
great event, a great series. Yeah.
Yeah. What a waste of a foolish afterwards.
Yeah, no kidding.
The randomizer also really didn't want to give you a foolish dungeon this seed.
I guess not. Does it have to if it can, or is it just highly?
So
likely?
from what we heard, because I had the same question, chat basically says that it tries to, like, it's overweighted towards giving a foolish dungeon, but it's not 100%.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think the point is that the randomizer gives you the most dense foolish locations, and the dungeons are at least 4 checks in them minimum. So it tries to give you those areas compared to OGC, which only has 1. So it's like highly likely that there's that every place has at least something that isn't locked by another unique item.
Okay. I think I only found OGC and Kokiri Forest. Or Lostwood, sorry. What was the third one? Did you guys see it?
Zora's River.
River. Makes sense. I actually forgot the upper check in River my first time going up towards Domain. Tried going back down the river and ended up in the air because of this hill and lost my chicken. So I just skipped that check.
Oh, right, yeah.
That was really weird. I've never gone down the river with a chicken before. It was very odd.
Seems to not have been really a supported use case for that chicken as well.
Yeah, I guess I got kind of lucky that I lost the chicken in that case then. Ugh.
Yes,
And then everything else was kind of like, for a seed that was like such a faff, really, with the magic. Everything was kind of, the hints were all, nothing was too complicated with the hints. We kind of can, they were either directly for the dungeon or like a couple of steps across. Do you know much about prieR as a runner before starting? Did you have any like tactics or plans against prieR as a runner?
No, I had none at all. I meant to do some research this weekend, but just didn't get a chance to. So today I feel like I kind of, before this I was playing pretty aggressively and
Yeah.
Not full clearing areas, but since I didn't know what to do against my opponent, I just went back to my old standard of full clearing and really not abandoning much. Unless like the river chest, I skipped it and then didn't have the resources to do it again. And I didn't want to go all the way back down and all the way back up. So.
Well, whatever you're doing it right, because if we recall correctly, you haven't dropped a match yet. Is that right?
I haven't. Knock on wood. Commentator
Knock on wood.
Come on.
You've got one more match to go before raising that elusive trophy. What would kind of get into the finale kind of mean for you? Would it be feel like a good achievement?
Yeah, for sure. I think I mentioned this last time, but my previous tournament appearances, I didn't win a single match. So now to go this far without dropping a match has been kind of unreal. I don't know. I didn't feel that great coming into Season 5. Only got 7 qualifiers done. I think I did maybe 2 seeds before the qualifiers started.
Yeah, because you don't put a lot of time into play. I've looked at your race time, and pretty much your matches on race time are just the Challenge Cup matches and things like that. So
yeah, I kind of got burnt out after League, and I didn't do anything between.
Oh, did you?
And Season 5, yeah.
And did you not do SGL?
No, I did not.
No. Okay. So, like, with the amount of time that you're spending with the randomizer being where you are is really, really impressive. And I know, me who was in Challenge Cup, kind of tracking who I wanted to be in my groups, you were definitely one of the ones I wanted to avoid. So, yeah, you're definitely a feared opponent in the community.
Yeah. Well, when I got out of
Feared
the
is
groups,
such a strong word.
I'm
Hey,
a
I
nice
want to
guy, I
win.
promise. Please, please. I'm not scary, I promise.
Nah, you seem nice enough.
When I got out of the group stages, I was like, okay, I guess I have to practice now.
Oh, really?
I did sit down and hash out a few seeds before the bracket started. Other than that, it's been quite a ride.
Yeah, I guess you got the mindset of being like you could, you know, as some people do, grind out the seeds, do the e-cola thing, and just play 3 times a day, or you know, keep yourself fresh and keep yourself ready and prepared, and do what you do to kind of get yourself into the mindset of playing the races. Have you been playing Ocarina of Time Randomizer long, or?
Oh yeah, I started out with I played in season 1. I didn't qualify, but I started out when version 2 dropped.
No way.
So yeah, I've been around for quite a while, and even before that, I was playing bingo, and back in the 2015-14 days, I was
Yeah. Okay.
kind of active in the IRL or the IRC. That's it, IRC. Yeah, it's a great game. I love playing it.
Yeah. So your experience with Ocarina of Time goes way back then.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of a gap between my bingo and glitch days in Rando, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
didn't take too long to get back to it.
No, that's really awesome. We've got prieR is just slaying Ganon at the moment, so I think in total what they're going to be like 15 minutes behind, something like that. 10 minutes?
Just about 13 minutes or thereabouts.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah.
Alright.
So get your GGs in chat for prieR for finishing in second place. Nobody's going home yet. These two are going to have at least one more match to determine the winner of this tournament. And well, if prieR takes home the win in the next one, there's going to be the all-important tiebreaker for all the marbles. Wes, did you already schedule your second match against prieR?
No, we haven't scheduled yet. It might end up being next week, with this weekend being Easter and all.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. prieR getting a reminder in racetime chat to please type .done.
But they actually forfeited. Did they actually slice Ganon? Did they?
They did.
Okay.
Has unforfeited from the race and finished.
Huh.
That's
Oh,
really
well.
weird. I don't. Yeah. It looks like race time's being race time. So
Race time
true.
looks to be a race time. But yeah,
Huh.
that was just about 13-minute time difference between the two of you, and that's just about an entire forest temple.
Oh, sure. Makes
yeah,
sense.
we were really hoping for a second strength, just to be well, the third strength, should I say, out there to kind of even the score a little bit and kind of avoid the iron boots and maybe a gold scale somewhere.
And then gold scale and water temple.
Oh yeah,
these iron boots weren't DLC today.
Yeah, we really we saw that and we were like, oh, there's magic, and then we're like, oh, no, there's gold scale. So we're just checking if prieR wants to drop in or not.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know if anybody, Lee or Tobias, has got any other kind of questions about the seed, or anybody in chat has any kind of questions or anything like that.
All right.
That spawn was pretty cool.
Yeah, looks like prieR is joining the French restream for an interview there. Not going to be joining us tonight.
Mhm.
That's fine. Yeah, he's gone over to talk to Poppy already. So I think since I am actually all out of questions for West,
Same here.
yeah. This was a long one. I mean, the only redeeming quality this seed had really was we knew early on that we needed to go into every single dungeon.
Except, well,
Except, well, yeah.
Right.
Every single main dungeon, let's say it that way.
Yeah, that was interesting the way that the path hints worked out, and
Mm.
yeah. Well, the good thing about a world tour is you also needed 40 skulls, so that made that pretty easy to collect skulls all along the way.
Yes, indeed. All right. With that, I think all that's left for me to do is to say one more time thank you to everyone who made this restream possible. Thank you to West0pher and prieR for putting on a hell of a show for us tonight. Please consider giving them a follow on Twitch if you haven't already. Thanks to our trackers who helped keep track of this this mess. Baseball, Mr. VGD, and Melqui. Thank you to our restreamer Hell Knight, our race monitor Ginger Sonny, and to my co-commentators Lee and Chuckles.
no problem.
Yo,
Yeah,
thanks
thank you
Tobias
all.
for joining us and having us, and thanks to West to letting us watch this awesome
Yeah.
match. Looking
West
forward
course,
to round
yeah.
two.
joining us for a quick interview.
Thanks for
We'll
thanks
see
to
you.
TSG.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. We'll see you in a few days for round 2 when you have scheduled it. Take care.